I think gamers won't really be interested in what we're talking about, right? Okay, so welcome everyone. Thank you so much for coming. And today we're going to be talking about advanced featureban. And if there's anybody watching, by the way, we'll be watching the comments. So if you want to join us actually playing this, we can send you a Zoom invitation so you can come in and watch us. I think what would be a very nice start would be maybe if we did introductions in the order that I see people on my screen here. So thank you very much, Massimo Sarti, for joining. Are you joining in from Rome today, Massimo?
Yes, I'm speaking from Roma, regardless of my background, and I'm professional Scrum trainer, Kanban trainer, and Agile coach. So I played several times featureban in my classes, so it's interesting to see the advanced version in action.
Do I recall, Massimo, that you watched myself and Andy play this in London years ago as well?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
Several is ago now.
yeah. It was a bit actually, Donald Trump had just come out because we used the joke about fake news at the time. So yeah, because I remember there was one team and they were cheating basically, and
yeah,
well, I used that line about fake news. I think we had 5 tables competing against each other. Do you remember?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. So normally, Massimo, when we play this, it's kind of more fun if you have 2 or 3 teams all competing. You know, who can generate the most money. But it's not about generating the most money. Who also has the best flow? Because while the game ends at a certain point, okay, so David's team did really well in borrowing the most money, but maybe Claudia's team's got better flow going on. So if Claudia actually kept going for another 2 weeks, she might outperform all of us. So that was really interesting. A lot of people think that value trumps flow, and I think it depends on the situation, and we will talk more about that later on this call. So thank you very much, Massimo, for joining.
Thank you.
Claudia, tell us all about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm originally from the Netherlands, but I am now based in the UK. I'm in the same house as David. I'm downstairs, he's upstairs. Hence why. Cool. I'm a Scrum trainer from Scrum.org as well, and also a Kanban University trainer. So and of course I work with teams and organizations as well. So a practitioner as well.
Cool. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.
So we're already getting some likes and some views, so that's good. So let's keep it going. Thank you very much for joining, Claudia.
No worries.
So David, are you upstairs or downstairs?
I'm upstairs. So if on my gallery view at the moment, I'm above Claudia, so that's a fair representation of how we're actually physically located. So yeah, that's. There you go. We've probably got the highest density of Kanban / Scrum trainers
per square meter.
Yes, per square meter is where we are. But yes, so I know Massimo and Claudia very well. Obviously, we went through our training journeys together. So again, I'm a accredited Kanban trainer with Kanban University, and a professional Scrum trainer with Scrum.org, particularly looking at Scrum with Kanban. So yeah, I love both, but yes, really interested in the idea of flow and bringing that to a lot of the ideas of Kanban to Scrum.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, David, for joining. I really appreciate you coming. And Daniel, last but not least, are you in Toronto today?
Oh, Montreal.
Montreal?
St. Lawrence. This is a St. Lawrence there.
Ah.
The guy from Rome talked about his background. I think my background beats his background.
Yours is real, isn't it?
Mine is real.
Exactly. There you go, Massimo.
Need to change mine.
Okay, so nice being here, and I'm waiting for John to get us started.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming. Nobody cares who I am anyway, but I was live streaming yesterday, and so if you want to kind of check out some of the stuff I do in the Kanban world, I was talking about kanbanguides.org, Kanban guide that myself and Daniel Vacanti came up with last year, and we also talked about Kanban for Complexity, we also talked a little bit about TameFlow, but Daniel, I promised that I would invite you and Steve onto the live stream talking about TameFlow at some point.
Yes, thank you, John.
Just for the people who are watching, what is TameFlow?
TameFlow is Kanban that's focused on throughput. Throughput is not just a plugin variable. For sure. No, I mean, throughput is important, and it's a dimension that's too often ignored with the traditional Kanban, with the theory of constraint and throughput accounting. And so this is where we stand.
Okay, cool. So I described TameFlow as the most advanced Kanban around. That's just my personal opinion.
Well, you wouldn't be far.
And I reviewed the book before I came up, but I was delighted. I was really thorough amount of thinking that went into Kanban, and in particular theory of constraints. A lot of people might have heard of the goal by Eliyahu Goldratt, and there's an even better one which is Beyond the Goal and Audible. If you enjoy the goal, you'll or the Phoenix Project, you'll absolutely love Beyond the Goal. And in there, they tell a story about theory of constraints, and there's also reference to throughput accounting in a lot of the other books as well, and even in the goal itself. So TameFlow kind of brings that back to us all, kind of reminds us all that you don't need to dismiss the theory of constraints when using Kanban. You can actually use them together. And sometimes, if you implement work in progress limits on columns on a workflow, you can make things worse, actually. So sometimes you need to see where the problem is, see where your constraint is, and then you might need a different replenishment strategy if you have that situation. But that's for another day. We're going. Daniel, I'm hoping yourself or Steve or both of you will come on to a show to talk about that on live stream. So looking forward to hopefully you join.
We definitely will not decline an invite.
Good. So I want to talk a little bit about featureban, because featureban was actually originally designed by Mike Burrows, a fairly well-known guy in the Kanban world. He wrote Kanban from the Inside. He leads with an agenda shift as well, and he basically came up with this game quite a few years ago, 2014. I can see here. 2014, he came up with featureban. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to remind people what it's about. So I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to talk about the upsides and downsides of this simulation. This has been updated since then, but there was a date of 2014 when I clicked on the link. So if you go on to SlideShare, you'll see this is actually version 2 of 2016. But there's a very simple board and a very simple workflow where you have ready, and there's 2 in progress columns. I normally use build and test as the in progress columns. You could do design and build, it doesn't matter. It's a very simple workflow. And at the very start of the game, where you can see the ready is there's some items in ready where there's nobody's initials on them because no one has actually started that work. But once someone takes an item for the ready column and brings it into the first in progress column, they put their initials on the column, you see, or on the card. And so you got different items, and the idea is that as you visualize your work, and your workflow, you can actually, let me just do it another way. You can do heads or tails. So every day there's a good day and there's a bad day. So heads is a good day, tails is a bad day. And a lot of people complain about the coins when I play this game, and I did notice that the Euro coin in particular wasn't quite even in terms of flips, but in general, people like to blame the coin tosses for their bad luck or their good luck and stuff like that. But it kind of evens out across, because I've run this simulation well over 100 times. And so with this simulation, we'll have good days and we'll have bad days, and we'll be tossing our coins. And so in this particular case, we don't have coins because we're on a Zoom call, and some people are watching online. So we'll be using probably a randomized website to flip coins for us. And so we don't have coins. So here in this particular situation, you can have blocked items. So on a card, and I have some cards here actually from the last time that I actually physically played the game, and had these simple cards here, and you can see on this card that when it was selected, when it went into build, when it went into test, at the bottom you can see that this card is actually blocked because there's a B in the blocked box. Yeah, and if that was unblocked, we'd just put a line through. We'd put a line through it. So if I just do this here with one of my markers here, and if I say this item was unblocked, and then put a line through the B, so I know that I can move this again. So when a card is blocked, the idea is that if someone has heads and they have a good day, they can't actually move it. They can just use their head to maybe unblock it or to move another item, because unblocking takes some work, right? There's a lot of work in unblocking work. So so if a card is blocked, you'll have a B written on it, like you see on the screen there, and you can see at the bottom there's a card where it was blocked, then it was unblocked, and then it was later reblocked. So B/B, B. So when an item is blocked, you essentially you can't move it. So after throwing tails, say when you throw a tail, you have a bad day. Basically, you block an item that you own. Is the idea, okay? If you have heads, heads is a good day. And if you got heads, you can advance one of your cards. So MB there has one card. If MB had two cards, they need to decide which card to move or to pull. So when they get heads, they can move a card to the right, or they can start a new item. So they can unblock, start a new item, or advance one of their items. Fairly simple rules. You have a card, you can move to the right. If it's blocked already, you can't move it. You have to move a different card, or you have to use your head to actually just do an unblock. So hopefully the next time you can actually move it. So that's heads. And if you've no other option, in other words, you couldn't move an item because for maybe there's no item there. There's no item in your name there. They're all gone to done. Or there's no work to start. There's nothing to block and there's nothing to start because there's nothing in the ready column, for example. You can then help somebody else who had tails. So that's kind of nice. So every now and again, you'll have a situation where you don't have any option. If there is an item to if you do get tails and you have an item in progress, you mark it as blocked. Now, if an item is already blocked, you don't reblock it. It's already blocked, right? And please don't block somebody else's card. Yeah, that's not nice. You just block your own card. But luckily, you're going to be joining the game after this anyway, these are the basic rules of featureban. But also with tails, we know when we block in normal work, we know that when an item gets blocked, do we just sit in our hands? What do you think? Don't you think, Daniel? We got a blocked item. Do you think we just sit in our hands? He doesn't have any idea. Okay, you don't sit in your hands. There's always loads of work to do, and so we'll start a new item, don't we? We usually start a new item. That's just the way we are.
When in doubt, start new work.
Exactly. Yeah. And of course, what people should be doing is focusing on unblocking the item, but human nature seems to be, okay, let's, somebody else is fixing that. Okay, let's just start something else. And then everything is taking longer and longer and longer. And then we're spinning loads of plates together. And yeah, it's just not a nice picture. And so then what we're supposed to do is we're supposed to get into groups and we're supposed to say, what's the name of the first column? What's the name of the second column? But I've already determined that for you. It's build and test, just to save a bit of time. So that's the first thing that we do. We quickly generated some cards, but we don't need to because I already have a backlog that's ready. Then you organize your items in terms of who's initiating what. I'm going to help you to do that. and anything that's uninitialed is anything that's in the ready column doesn't have any initial on it, because nobody's selected that item yet. So these are the rules for iteration 1. So iteration 1, when we do this, is essentially, Mike doesn't say this, but when I play this, it's essentially Scrum when you start, because we're doing replenishment every 6 days. Now, why did I pick 6 days? I just started with 6 days, and now I'm kind of stuck with it, because if I change it, all the stats are going to change, and I'll be kind of wondering, I won't be able to correlate the data and so on. So the sprints, if you like, that I was using at the start of this was 6 days. Mike doesn't say that, but that's what I was doing. But these are the rules in a nutshell. Now I'm just going to pause for a moment and just see, do you have any questions about these rules, basically?
Okay.
Seems okay. So I want to show you something, because, well, first of all, I just want to go back a little bit, because while this is a lovely simulation, one of the things that I used to get questioned about a lot was, or not so much question, but I used to get these comments. Yeah, but this isn't realistic. Because each of these items, if you think about it, takes 2 or 3 days to finish, right? If you're lucky, something will go into ready and in progress on the first day. And so you might get something done in 2 days. If the sun is shining and the traffic lights are green, we get something done in 2 days. But if it doesn't go from ready to in progress in the first day, then it could take 3 days. But it shouldn't, in theory, take longer than 3 days. And most people will say to you, well, my work doesn't take 3 days. I mean, I've got some work that takes 10 days and other work that takes 2 days. And so already people start kind of disconnecting from the simulation, is what I noticed. But it is very useful to demonstrate flow. If you've got a short amount of time and you want to demonstrate flow working, you can do this. And usually what I do, what I used to do back in 2016, as I used to give people a backlog, I used to have a board set up, and feature 4, there's a particular feature that I put in there, and it was a feature that wasn't a very nice feature, and people were giving out, why did you put that in? I would never have put that in. So what I did then was I said, okay, pick your own features then. But when I do that, it takes too long. So what's going to happen today is you're going to take over from a team that did this in Bucharest, and they finished at day 13. So what that means is we can kind of fast forward it, that we can kind of look what they're doing. And essentially, they didn't have any work in progress limits when they started. There's no limits on the board there. So it was really, really interesting, because literally just after, I think it was day 6, usually day 6. So they started with a complete honeymoon, right? So they had a beautiful backlog. They could pick whichever features they wanted. They put them into the system, and within 6 days, the metaphor I use is a blocked toilet. I'm sorry about the metaphor, but it's kind of, you'll remember it. Let's put it that way. The board just looks blocked, as lots of work in progress, loads of items are blocked, and so it's really, really interesting. So at the end of that first iteration, they're saying, well, what do we do? And of course, what everyone says is, oh, we need more developers. Yeah, we need more developers. And we know from Little's Law was designed for arrivals, but it was rewritten for delivery, because that's what we do. The version I like to use is average cycle time equals average work in progress divided by average throughput. You can use different terminology if you want, but that's the one I tend to use. And why I like that is because I can see, if I want to reduce cycle time, I can see what my 2 interventions are. And before Daniel jumps in, I'm ultimately worried about throughput, but I understand that if your cycle time comes down, eventually your throughput will go up. So what I do is I say, okay, how can I reduce my cycle time? And there's 2 interventions. One of them is you increase your throughput. You add more developers, or you add a manager, or you do something to basically try to increase your throughput. But we know that increasing throughput costs money. And even if we hire the best team, there are issues with new communication channels. It doesn't come for free. It comes with a tax. So the other intervention that's free is limiting work in progress. So I'm going to show you their data, because they went past this. So they had unlimited work in progress. They used the rules from iteration 1, but then they realized that their system was clogged, so they decided to implement work in progress limits. Because if we want to reduce our cycle time, we could increase the number of developers. And back in some simulations, I did allow teams to do that, and they didn't have very good results, but I let them do that just to see what happened, because that's one intervention. The other intervention is you introduce work in progress limits. So that means that if you already have work in the system, so here's 3 and 3, but in the game you're going to take over, it's going to be 6 overall, so 6 between the 2 columns. Because this team has been kind of learning. You could do it by a separate column if you want to, I don't really mind, but the team you're taking over from had a limit of 6 across the 2 columns for 9 developers. And people usually say to me, what do you mean? We're going to be idle? Like, we got 3 developers idle? I said, let's try it. Let's just see. Let's see what happens. And then they start swarming. They start working together, and interesting things happen. So work in progress limits get introduced. And so the same rules apply, except you can't breach your work in progress limit. So in this particular example here, you can advance this item into the second column because you're not breaching the second WIP limit, or you can start a new item. But actually, they can start a new item because in the first column there's a limit of 3, so you'd be breaching the WIP limit by bringing that item in. So essentially, the same rules apply, except the WIP limits will constrain that. So these are the new rules. So I'll let you just look at these. Get you look at these rules. And I'm just going to check in on the channel, see how people are doing. Not getting any messages on Meetup. I'm going to check Facebook when you're in the next section. So you guys are all Kanban trainers, so I guess this is straightforward for you guys, right? For people watching, this might be new. Happy to move on? Yes, okay. So there's other bits and bobs and all that kind of stuff, but as such, that they're the rules, if you like. So what we're going to do now is we're going to look at the more advanced version that Andy Carmichael and myself came up with. And so what I'm hoping will happen is, as a result of today, that if you like, some of you like this, that maybe you'll help me to make this better. So we have a Google Doc file, and in that Google Doc file, I'm just waiting for it to load, and there is a storyboard. And on this storyboard, I realized earlier that when I did the manual game that we didn't record blockages, and I realized that would cause a big problem online. So literally in the last 2 hours, I added that feature to the spreadsheet. I hope I haven't broken anything by doing that. So on the storyboard, there's a lot of work, there's a lot of stories done, but these stories are part of features. So there's also a features board. Just need to move that aside. So you can see here that actually we've got one feature that's deployed. We've got 3 features that are ready for deployment, so they actually have managed to deliver some stuff. And there is 2 features in progress. Okay, but both those features, the features have different numbers of stories. So this is what makes this interesting, because in the basic version of featureban, every story is of equal size. So what I did was, you have a storyboard, which is like a story level. So all of those stories are the same size, but then there's a feature board at a higher level, kind of like a team board and a multi-team board, if that makes sense. Yeah, so across multiple teams. And each of these features has a different number of stories. So already now we're trying to get closer to reality. No game will really perfect reality, but first of all, if for each of these features, they've got different numbers of stories. In addition, some of them have dependencies. So, for example, feature number 3 needs feature number 1 to be finished before you get the value. And there's a chain as well. Feature 4 also needs feature 1. Feature 5 needs feature 3. So feature 5 needs feature 3, which needs feature 1. It's kind of like trying to sell a load of houses in a chain, isn't it? So, so that's interesting. You've got different numbers of stories. You've got dependencies between some of them, and you've got different types of cost of delay for some of these features, which makes it really interesting from a prioritization point of view. So you can see how valuable each of these items are. So feature number 3 is actually worth 5 million pounds. Okay, and there's another feature here, it's worth 6 million. But what's very, very interesting is the one that's worth 5 million has a cost of delay of 50,000 pounds per day, whereas the 6 million one has a cost of delay of 30,000 pounds per day. There's also one here that's worth 1 million, and you get the million as long as you deliver it by the end of day 20. If you don't deliver by the end of day 20, you don't get the million. So almost consider that like a fine, you know, that you just don't get the money by a particular date. There's also an expedite one, so there's an emergency issue in there. Now this emergency issue, I probably shouldn't be telling you this, but basically it's going to start on day number 9. But you're already now aware of the issue, so you can kind of deal with it if you want to. And I'm curious, actually, if we actually, no, it's actually not actually finished yet for this team. So this will cost 100,000 pounds per day, and that 4 million will be worth 0 by day 49. Make sense? And we basically got a number of features there. And what I'd like to do now, I would like to share this file with you guys, okay? And I want you to play around with this. And before you play around with it, I just want to show you a few things. We have some graphs. So there are some story graphs. So you can see here a cumulative flow diagram on the left-hand side and a scatter plot for cycle time on the right-hand side. And so you can see here that this team brought in a big batch of work in progress, and it took them a while to bleed it down. And the work in progress seems to have been reduced the last few days. However, we're not seeing the benefit of that yet on the, sorry for the background noise here. We're not seeing the benefit yet on the scatter plot because the cycle times are still on a trend of getting worse and worse. Okay. And also we've got some extra story graphs. So we've, Andy did a great job putting these charts together. So the delivery rate is increasing. The work in progress has come down, but cycle time is still getting longer. Okay, I won't get to
Sorry for interrupting, but I think someone has kids playing in the background.
Yes, it's outside.
Could everybody mute themselves, or?
It's me. Yeah. It's people outside, so
bad.
Time, so yeah. It's quite warm here as well, so I'm trying to. Anyway, sorry about that. Okay. Is that better? More interesting charts here. So this is interesting. So the work in progress is coming down. So that's good. I usually say, as long as it depends on your policies, but work in progress is usually, if you're reducing your work in progress, as long as you're not starving the team, it's usually a good indication that nice things might happen to your cycle times. But that isn't happening yet. And will it happen is the question. Also on the, there's a type of cycle time as time in process. And so normally we'd like to see a histogram where the short cycle times are on the left-hand side, and it's kind of like a high on the left and it kind of goes down to the right. We haven't yet got to the situation where this team has got good flow. They're trying to make changes to improve, but they haven't quite got there yet. And then if we look at the features chart, feature graphs, there's also a cumulative flow for the features, and the feature cycle time is also still getting longer. There's also some extra graphs there as well for features. You're welcome to look at those. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to share the link to this folder to the four of you. I'm going to share this with you, and I would like you to have a look in particular at the features and talk about, okay, look at what features are going through the system at the moment. So on the features board, what features are going through at the moment, but what features would you do you think should be, if we were to kind of organize a backlog around this, which features do you think you want to bring in next? Does that make sense? Got a few nodding heads there. Okay. So I'm going to do that now. So just going to go to the folder here, and I'm just going to go back, and I'm just going to share this folder with the people who are on the call. And there it is. There's the folder. I'll just share it with you guys right now. I'm going to stop my screen share while I do that. And so Daniel, oops, Daniel Dairon, and Claudia, and David Spinks. Is your email coming up? Dave's email isn't coming up for me automatically, so I just have to look for it in my email system. And I got Massimo here as well. And David, can you just call out your email address to me, please? So I just save a bit of time here.
Yeah, if you look for DM Spinks.
DM Spinks, I got it. Yeah. So I've now just sent this folder to you, and the name of the file is day 13 start point advanced feature ban. So while you guys and gals are actually looking at that, I'm now going to check on the social media channels to see if anybody's got any comments and if anybody wants to join you. Any questions before I do that? No. Okay. So I just want to check over on the channels. Yes. Go ahead.
So just we need to open the copy or day 13 because I'm watching
day 13.
Okay, not the copy one. Okay, okay.
It's day 13. Day 13 start point. There's no copy in the Word. That's just a backup.
Okay.
Maybe I'll just move the file just to avoid confusion. So it's just day 13 start point advanced feature ban. Google Sheets. So I'm going to trust you guys now. You're going to look through that, and because I could only do one thing at a time. And so I'm now going to check the channels and see does anybody have any comments. Okay. So thank you for that.
John, sorry, one question. Do you want us to discuss it with each other or just doing individually? Discuss with each other, isn't it? Okay,
I'd like you to chat here on the Zoom call, yeah.
Yeah, cool. Right. Does any of us want to share the screen? Shall I share my screen so we can discuss it?
Yeah, I'll make you a host, Claudia.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you should be able to do it now.
Okay, let me have a look. Yeah. Okay, share. Right, can you all see it?
Yeah.
Cool. Right. So I think we need to have a look at which ones we want to get in and which one's already in there. So shall we have a look which one's already in there? Which is features board. Cool. Oh, I don't know why that graph is in the way.
You can just move it out of the way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It does that every time. I don't know. I just kind of make your zoom a bit smaller as well so you can see more on the screen.
Cool. Right, let's have a look. F1 installment payment gateway, standard 400K. And that's already deployed, isn't it?
One, yeah.
Yeah, one is already deployed. So ready for deployment and development.
Okay.
So I do see F5 has a dependency on F3, but F3 is already in there, but that has a dependency on F1, which is already deployed.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
So these guys weren't bad with their prioritization so far.
Yeah.
They're a pretty good team, actually.
Right. Shall we have a look what we want to bring in, if there's anything else we want to bring in, or?
Yes, please. That's the conversation I'd like you to have. Yeah.
David, Massimo, Daniel.
Just been.
Let me check.
Look what we want to bring in, if there's anything else we want to bring in, or...
Yes, please. That's the conversation I'd like you to have. Yeah.
David, Massimo, Daniel.
I'm good. I'm just looking.
I have been drawn to F6, the fixed dates.
Yeah, I was looking at that one because that's day 21 and we're on day 13 at the moment, aren't we?
Yeah. Is it GJ 21? I thought. Oh yes.
Yeah, it is.
Day 21. Yeah. Okay. And we're starting day 13.
Yeah. I don't know what the current lead time is, or need to probably have a look at the graphs, but
yeah, I'm having a look through, see if there's any clues in the graphs and the metrics.
Yeah.
Okay. On the extra feature graphs, we do have an average lead time, which looks like it's just below 15 days.
Yeah, so then we probably will.
Yes, 15 or even more, 17.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if it's worth, Larry, if you go to the extra feature graphs, it shows you that that graph that I was looking at. Yeah. Yeah, so that second one, run chart customer lead time.
Yeah.
I think that orange line is showing us an average of just under 15. But of course, it looks like that lead time is growing, so we have to take that with a bit of a pinch of salt, I think.
Yeah. So do we still think the well, what happens if we don't meet that fixed date? Is there anything in there? Let me have a look.
You just lose the £1 million.
Oh, you lose the whole amount.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a So it's a bit of a like an effort risk that we take here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. $1 million looks quite substantial compared to the cost of delivery of some of the others. So we might need to expedite it if we do bring it, right? It's day 13 now, we've got to day 21. So that's 8 days. And our lead time is 15, so we'd have to do it twice as fast than our previous average.
I love the analysis. Fantastic. Listening to Kanban trainers. Brilliant.
Looking at graphs and things.
I know.
You're spoiling me, guys. This is great. Thank you.
It's funny. It's not like just whack it in. Oh, cool.
So yeah, I think this is it's a balance, isn't it? Are we gonna put F6 in, almost treating it like an expedite at the cost of making progress on other things? Is it worth that investment? What do we think?
What are the other ones that are in at the moment? Because we will get some like you said, like some flow depth or how you call it. So let's have a look. The other ones that are in, we have one in of 5,000. 500,000 is that, or 5,000, isn't it? 5,000, 6,000, 1,000.
F3 you're talking about?
Yeah, F3, F5, and F6. So if we expedite, of course we, like I said, we'll go. The other ones, will suffer. So I'm just looking at the amounts, just on the amounts on there as well.
So F3's got a cost of delay of 50,000 per day. business value of 5 million.
And when did it needed to be ready? F3. Sorry, I'm just looking.
It's that one's a standard. So I think.
Oh, okay. So it's no fixed date.
As soon as possible, basically. Yeah.
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 Oh yeah, I've got it here.
5.
What do you think, Massimo?
No, just I'm trying to figure out all this stuff on the board already. So F3.
A bit overwhelming. Yeah, sorry about that.
F6. F6. Let me check. F6. High. Okay, already done. Fixed date. F8. So F2. Any dependencies with F2? No. Yeah. Oh, yes. F9. That is very low. Okay.
So,
F3, F5, F6.
Yeah. Yes, David. Sorry.
I was going to say the so F3 cost of delay 50,000 a day. So it would take us 20 days to recoup that in comparison to the one for 1 million, i.e. Yeah, I'm just thinking out loud. The other one that caught my attention, there's one with a cost of delay for 500,000. That's got a fixed date as well. F11.
Oh, that's this one, isn't it? That's F11. Oh, you're right, because if we've got like the lead time around 15 days and we're on day 13, and we had about 17, then maybe it is worth to start this.
But that looks like it's that's a one-off cost of
day 30. Yeah.
Oh, it's a one-off. Oh, okay. Okay.
It's a fixed date basically. So if you do it by the end of day 30, you get the 500 grand.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the problem with fixed dates, isn't it? You see fixed dates and then you kind of panic and you think, it's got a fixed date. I must do it by then.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So maybe it's okay to leave the day 31 for now because we're on day 13. Well, as long as our cycle time isn't 17 days or longer, we might be okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So normally when I'm doing this face-to-face, I'd have a poster on the wall and there'd be one group. And I know there's only one product owner normally, but I just for the exercise, because it's quite complicated, isn't it? You get a few people working together, trying to figure out, okay, what item should be going in next. And then you have other people playing the board, moving work through the board, Other people looking at the charts as well.
John, what does complete include dependency day mean? On F6 it says 18 here. What do you mean with that?
So that's Andy actually designed that now. So that particular piece, I presume what that means, it was completed and also the dependency was also completed. So it's no good having something complete if the dependency isn't also complete.
Yeah, that's what I was just wondering. So for the F6, the dependency at the moment is completed. You're saying
it actually doesn't have any dependency.
Okay,
so,
cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that it didn't have any dependencies before we actually make that decision.
Yeah.
Cool.
So another question, it might be quite obvious, but the maximum business value, so let's say F3, which has got a maximum business value of 5 million, it's got a cost of delay of 50,000.
Yeah.
If we don't deliver that for, I don't know, we put it off for a long period of time, that maximum business of value, we'll never achieve that.
Exactly. because it burns off every day. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's say we leave that and we only deliver the cost of delay like 2 days before the end. We'd only get like 100,000.
Something like that.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha.
That's kind of like life too, isn't it? Because in real life, you get 2 items and they're worth 5 million. But if I deliver this next year, I still get the 5 million. If I deliver this next year, it's gone. It's eroded because the competition have destroyed us.
Yeah.
So when you have something where there is a very low cost of delay, it means you might be able to defer that because you still get the 5 million later. That said, one of the limitations of this game is that it's assuming that each of these items are fixed value. But what I do in the real game when I play this, I do a little bit of black swan farming, so to speak. And so when they deliver, they thought it was worth 5 million. I say, yeah, thank you very much. That's worth 20 grand. Wait, done. Well, that was worth 5 million. Yeah, but it wasn't as valuable as we thought it would be. And then something else is worth 50 grand and make it worth 20 million. And I might use something about Brexit or something and say a good thing happened out of Brexit and a bad thing happened out of Brexit, so they change the value of the features. Because people kind of get caught up with how valuable things are. Actually, we're just guessing how valuable they are, really, aren't we?
Yeah.
That's a limitation of the game. But if you bring that twist in, though, you can still deal with that learning outcome.
Yeah. And I know, I guess the other factor that we've not really talked about is size. And I guess the size is implied by the number of stories.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah. That's how we get the variety of size in there.
Yeah. I was just looking at that because I saw F6 had 6 stories in it, and you've got, for example, F3 only 3. So I was just looking at that.
Yeah. Okay. And of course, so the big value ones in terms of the value is F3 and at 5 million, F5 at 6 million, but F5 has got less stories, only 3, but it's got a dependency on 3, i.e. we need to finish feature 3 first.
I was just thinking, because F3 is already in and F5 is already in as well. They're ready for deployment. So so they're almost there, I would say.
Right.
But of course, if we would put something in to expedite, that will be delayed, I assume, because potentially. Yeah.
Is ready for deployment just a queue? Is that just going to happen, or is there further work that needs to happen for it to move from ready for deployment to deployed? Or is that just on a time?
Oh yeah, I need to explain about that, right? So if you click, can you go right to the left? Sorry, right to the left. At the very bottom, Claudia, there's a kind of an arrow thing where you can go to the sheet on the far left. Yeah, and if you click on, I think it's click on about, maybe it's about.
The stories, your data.
No, they're the rules. Let me just try and find it here.
Stories.
There's a setup. I'll try and find it here. 1 second. I don't see it. I should see it. Basically, there's a setup where we set up. Yeah, I see it. Summary and settings. So if you click on next to the plus on the left, you'll see kind of lines. Like it looks like a little backlog way over to the left. Move your mouse way over left of about.
Sorry, which one, John? The
left of about. Go left to about.
Left for about.
And see the little menu plus, and then there's a little menu.
Yeah.
No, not that one.
Oh.
Right of the plus. Plus.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And click on summary and settings, please.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in there's an important setting I want to show you. So if you click now on that, so if you go over to the right hand side of that, so there's a delay. There's a delay for when. So see there it says days added for deployment 5. So what Andy used to do was people were trying to drive things home, trying to get the value, and then he'd say to them, "Well, we need to schedule the deployment, and that takes 5 days. So there's another lag, yeah. But actually, normally when I do this, I make it 2 days. So can you just change that to 2? Just type a 2 over the 5. I think I lost Claudia.
Yeah, you lost me. Sorry, I just lost connection a bit.
Over days for deployment where it says 5, can you just overwrite it with 2?
Okay.
Good. Yeah, Massimo's in there already, actually.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Massimo.
Yeah, Massimo, you do the change, Massimo. Change the 5 to a 2.
Yeah.
Hasn't changed yet here.
I cannot change. I don't know why.
Oh, you can't change it?
No, cannot.
Oh, that's interesting. Let me try that.
It's locked for me. This is there is a lock.
Okay, let me try. Okay, I wasn't aware of that. I was able to do it. Okay. So I need to figure out how to make that give you those rights the next time. Okay, so what that means is that when all the stories for a feature are deployed, sorry, not deployed, when they're done, there's a 2-day delay before you get the value, because we need to schedule the deployment, and there's a 2-day delay. I think 5 is a bit too much, and particularly if you're running this in a training class, we've got limited time. We've got lots of other activities to do, so you'd be extending the game by 20 minutes with a 5-day delay, because people want to see the value when they're going to get the value. Okay, so you can go back to the other board now.
Cool. Yeah. Features. We want to go back to features. Yeah.
I'm just checking on the channels because I'm getting some comments on YouTube and stuff. So
they probably say, just make your decision. Just get on with it.
So a chap called Wolf, I think, is going to join us. So I'm going to ask him to email me.
Nice. Excellent.
And if anybody else wants to join us, you're more than welcome. So thank you, Rüdiger, for doing that. As soon as you send me the email, I'll send you the Zoom link so you can join us. I'll just check the other channels as well, see how things are going.
Right. Yeah. So we keep on having a look. Right. So F3, F5 is ready for deployment that we said. We're on day 13. So when would we deploy those? Is that 2 days later?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 days later. So they're there. So they're actually kind of sitting there, isn't it? So it's nothing that we can do about it.
Yeah, but thankfully we reduced it from 5 to 2 at least, you know?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So by putting something else in, even if we would expedite it, we probably wouldn't delay those. Am I right, David and Massimo?
Yeah, that's my understanding.
Okay, yeah, cool.
So I guess I would like you to try to decide as a team. I don't want you to order the whole backlog, but if you were to pull in more features, what would be the next 2 or 3 features that you might bring in?
Yeah.
And it doesn't have. Don't worry about getting. It doesn't have to be a perfect answer. It's just, just try and get things moving. What things. There's no perfect answer because it depends on the coin tosses as well. How well that goes, right? So.
Yeah. Cool.
So I think F6. Because of the value of it, yes, we might need to expedite it at the cost of other things. But I think the value that it could deliver is maybe worth a shot. This is the fixed date one, F6.
Okay.
What do you think?
Okay.
Yeah. So my only it's a gamble because my only slight worry is indeed that it is quite big in size. So it's on the higher spectrum, but yeah. I'll go with it. And then you said another one, which we had, the 5 million one.
That's F3. That's the one that's in ready to deploy.
Yeah. Because we have to wait 2 days for that anyway. So let's have a look if we have a small with high value. Got another. No, that's an F6. That's an. No, that's 6.
John, are we allowed to unselect things? Because I see F2 and F7 are they're already in development, aren't they? So they've already started.
Yeah. So for the simulation, I don't because it screws all the metrics.
Yeah.
And if you did, one thing you could do you could just move everything to done and just mark it as cancelled, but it would still mess up all the charts.
Yeah.
So if you wouldn't mind just indulging me on that. So normally what I would have done, of course, if we had more time, I would let you start from day one. And so you pick what features you'd start with, and you wouldn't be inheriting from another team. You'd be kind of picking your own stuff. But we saved about an hour by doing this.
Yeah.
Even though maybe you don't agree with what's already in there,
Yeah. No, it's fine. I didn't realize it was in development. So yeah, I wouldn't stop something that had started. So.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Sorry, I just made a mistake. Actually, the F6 only has one story. I was looking in the wrong column.
Okay.
I'm right, is it? Yeah, number of stories and feature, F6 only has one. So yeah, it's probably worth the gamble, I think. What do you think, Massimo?
Yes.
Yeah.
F6, so yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool. And I was looking, I did see some others. Right, what are the intangibles that we have? And do we need the intangibles? So we have a 2-day, of course, we have to wait 2 days for deployment. Well, is the DevOps intangible actually going to give us continuous deployment that we don't have to wait those 2 days anymore? Is that what F12 means? Improved DevOps process intangible?
Yeah, so basically what happens is if you deliver F12, it's intangible. After you deliver F12, if you get tails, you can flip again because you're more efficient. You've got better processes, and so you have less bad days. Is the theory behind that? So there is an advantage to delivering F12 because it'll help your coin flips.
Yeah. So in real life, I would always, I would put things in like prioritize those things because you know what I mean? Because it eventually, it continues delivery, continues integration, etc. That in real life, that's really what I would be quite passionate about.
Yeah, great, totally.
Yeah. Any opportunity to turn a bad day into a good day. Yeah.
Exactly.
So I think we need to agree F12 then. Massimo, you happy with that?
Yes. F12.
I'm good too.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, sorry, Daniel. The reason why I'm not saying I don't see you in my screen. Now I see you. So
your audio is gone as well, Daniel, when you're talking.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Oh, I didn't want to exclude you, Daniel. It's just literally you weren't in my screen.
You might be on mute, Daniel, so we thought we might have lost you.
We need to do a sign. You are on mute. I should have one from all this week, actually. I need to invite in...
Yes, I am on mute. Indeed.
There we go. Yeah, you
see, okay. So I couldn't see you and couldn't hear you, so I thought you weren't there anymore. So sorry about that.
You've probably been screaming at us like, no, don't do that.
I was actually, but anyway.
Oh, cool. Right, so are we okay with those two then to start with? To bring those in?
Yeah, you're not going to bring them in yet, but when you start playing the board, they're the ones that you have in mind. Yeah. Sounds good. So thanks for that. You've now navigated the board, which is great. I think now what I'd like you to do is to get comfortable with what's going on the storyboard. And when we start, actually, sorry, there's one thing we need to do before we start. We need to agree our policies, don't we? So would you mind creating a new tab, please, Claudia? Just go up plus, just create a simple blank form. And I'm going to give you some hints for some of the policies that I usually use. I know you're all Kanban trainers and all that, but I'll just tell you what I normally use. It just needs to be a blank page. Yeah.
Right. Hold on. There you go. Right. Add sheets. Where does it add it at the end?
Probably at the very end. Yeah.
Oh, it's not done that.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Oh,
okay. Maybe I'm just not allowed. Shall I stop sharing and just let you do it, John?
Okay.
Yeah, I stop share. Shall I make you? You did make me the host, isn't it? Shall I make you back host?
Your co-host, so it's fine.
Oh yeah, I can see that. Yeah, my co-host. Cool.
Okay,
so
I'm now going to share my screen again. But I need to make sure that I've got the worksheet open. This is Rudiger joining. Welcome, Rudiger. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing your name properly. 1 second, I need to let you in. Too many things going on my screen.
I can let him in, John. So.
I got him. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Thank you for that, though. Yeah. Okay, so I think what we'll try to do is create some policies. So wait for Rudiger's audio to join, though. He's not through on audio just yet. Zoom gives you a prompt, and some people miss the prompt. It says, do you want to join by computer audio? Do you want to call us? And sometimes if you click too quickly, you don't see it. I'm not sure if Rudiger sees it yet because I don't see his audio clicking in. No, he's coming through. Okay, good. Rudiger, welcome.
Yeah, hi there. Thanks for welcoming me in.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for joining. So you probably see what the guys have been up to here. Would you mind introducing yourself? Just tell us about you.
I've been playing around in the sort of the agile field for quite some time. Started with something called DSDM in 98, and in the last few years I've been working with government programs, UK government that is.
Yeah.
Working with sort of agile transformations, agile teams, doing delivery in fairly big programs.
Nice. And have you used Kanban simulations before?
I have, yes. So again, I've used featureban, but just a simple version. So that's what caught my attention was, looking at advanced ways of using this as a training tool.
So the idea is that we're going to, myself and Andy put this together in 2016. And of course, now there's a new need to kind of have more online simulations. I'm not saying this will be a good online simulation, but we're just experimenting to see, could this be useful for people? Because we have Get Kanban, we have Twig. Would this be another one? Or we're just exploring to see how it might be. So thank you very much for joining.
Yeah, love to join in and see how it works.
Great. And how do I pronounce your name? Is it?
Rudy is fine.
Rudy. Okay, thanks, Rudy. Okay, cool. All right, so what I'm going to do is, normally what I do every 6 days when I do the simulation with people in the workshop, we start off with no policies, and because they're using Scrum and they have a definition of done, but they don't have kind of workflow policies as such. And then at the end of the first retrospective, they look at the charts and they say, well, should we decide about, because you seem to be having loads of arguments about which features are bringing in. So should we have a replenishment policy, so that we decide what we're bringing in. So I'm sharing my screen. Can you see me typing on the screen here, guys? Yeah.
Yep.
We're nodding. So usually I have I call it replenishment or start policy, because the word replenishment is a bit complicated for some people. So in other words, which feature how do we decide which feature we start next? And then I usually have a feature as well for pull or move policy. So if there's an item already in an active state, and let's say I've got 3 items in progress, which one do I move? Are we all going to have an argument every single time, or do we have some rules about how we actually do that? What are our work in progress limits? Do we have any work in progress limits, right? So work in progress limits. Do we have any? And then there's another one which is unique to this game, which is cooperation. And you might say, shouldn't we always cooperate? But it's very interesting. In the first iteration of featureban, when you play it, if you start from day one, I know a lot of you are Kanban guys, so you probably wouldn't do this, but what tends to happen is people work on their own silos on their own cards. So Claudia works on her card, Rudy works on his, Massimo works on his, and we're all doing our own bits. And here I am on Good Friday still working, and everybody else has gone home and they're playing golf and normal world, whatever normal is. So do we cooperate? So you might remember in the basic featureban simulation that what Mike had, heads or tails, and heads it was a good day, tails is a bad day, but we weren't sharing the coins. At this stage, though, I can tell you there's this team that were sharing heads. But they weren't sharing tails. But the only thing is I don't know how to do that when we do this online. Maybe you can help me with that. So they were not sharing tails. So if you blocked your own work. But maybe for the purpose of this online simulation, because there are no, I guess there are no initials on the card. I think it's just sharing. I think you should just make it sharing coin tosses instead of heads or tails, because we might have to share tails. But you can be smart about that. If you do the heads first, work can move into dumb before the tails come in to block the work, if that makes sense. So I think that's probably the way we cope with that online. So if we just say sharing coin tosses, so instead of each individual player doing their own coin toss, we might say, well, we've got 9 coins. How many heads do we have? How many tails do we have? Okay. And we swarm around the work. Which items will we move today? Does that make sense? Kind of. Okay. So the work in progress that you've inherited is 6. So 6 items between build and test. In build and test. The clock starts though really once something goes into anyway, let's talk about that later. So the work in progress is 6. So what I want you to talk about now is, how do you decide? So you've just had a discussion about the features, okay? And realize it or not, you've used some logic to kind of decide which feature you bring in, right? So there are some rules, and so all we're going to do is we're just going to write down what they are. Okay, you mightn't be aware of what they are right now, but there's some rules, and you're going to try and sort them somehow. So get me started here. So what did you consider when you were deciding which feature you might bring in?
You asked us to continue working on items that had already been started.
Yeah, continue started work. Yeah. Okay, but that's more about pull, move than replenishment, but that's okay. It's a consideration. Yeah. What else?
Is there a fixed date associated with it?
Yeah. So does that mean you're giving more priority to fixed dates?
Not necessarily. Depends on where we are now to when the fixed date is.
So fixed dates coming up soon.
Yeah. We could be looking at our lead times to look at that, but
relative to cycle time, lead time, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get into arguments about that. There's different Kanban schools of thought, but I think we all understand how long does it take to get through, right? Relative to how long work items take.
It is very confusing, the different terminology when we have to switch between Kanban University and Scrum.
I know.
It's terrible. So we looked at size as well. So
size,
effort.
Consider effort.
Yeah, effort probably more.
Yeah. What else?
We looked at the cost of delay and the overall business value. That's probably 2 separate things.
Business value. Consider cost of delay.
I did look at like improvements. So like I think the intangibles, we did have a look if for the longer term. It's probably just looking at the classes of servers, isn't it, which comes under the but
yeah. So basically intangible work where the Kanban University guys and the Kanban flow strategy complexity Scrum.org guys would probably agree is it's usually a good idea to prioritize intangible work. Long-term work, when you've got a couple of hours to spare, instead of giving me another piece of work, unless I can get all that work done on my own within 2 hours, which is unlikely, usually what I've just done is overloaded the entire team, because I might have filled my 2 hours, but now the team is completely overloaded. So what we like to do is do some system improvement. Could be some automated testing, could be proper continuous integration, improving the continuous delivery pipeline, could be reorganizing the way our desks are organized, could be something to improve the system, or even just learning or mobbing or something like that. So long-term improvement work.
I
mean, if one's talking about general, rules, you or policies, you might consider doing something to gain political favors or advantage.
Yeah.
So we're just doing this because we are essentially trying to do a favor or to help someone out who maybe has who's an important stakeholder.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the reality. For a lot of product owners, they need to engage with stakeholders, which means manage the politics. That's what we really mean by that. At least that's my personal opinion. Yeah, go ahead.
Dependencies.
Yes, that was the first thing that you considered, actually, wasn't it? When you were chatting, you were worried about that, but I'll just write it down here for now, and then you can tell me the order. So consider dependencies, dependency chains, basically. Okay. That it for now? Any more?
Yeah, well, if you look in real life, I don't know. So if you, for example, when we had a Kanban system, you don't really have one product owner because product owner role doesn't really exist. So we would have like, mechanics around that as well. But okay, for this game, I assume we should not take that in consideration.
Tell me what you're thinking, or where are you going with this?
So it's normally like you can have agreements with product owners, isn't it? How they kind of, the Kanban University has kind of examples for that, which is like on rotating, for example. They do it on rotation.
Yeah.
Or what are the other ones, David?
Yeah. So so if you've got a number of stakeholders, you just do round robin. So
and
that's
budgeting.
Yeah.
I mean, there's obviously, you want to take into account the organizational strategy. Is the work that I'm going to be doing actually aligned with that? So maybe alignment is really.
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of good rules here, but we need to prioritize them because it's a bit of a mishmash right now. So what I usually do with a group, I say, okay, what's the number 1? What's the number 2? What's the number 3? You might even say it's this, considering this, 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 and this. That's okay. But what would be your number 1 here, would you say? Out of all of this list, what would be your number 1?
I guess for me, probably would be business value, but I could be. But that's just my opinion.
So dependencies must be near the top of the list, because if you can't finish something, as much value as it gives.
That's actually number 1, actually.
Absolutely, yeah, you're right. I forgot about that one.
Okay.
I'd like to throw in as well, given the fact that we've looked at the graphs and we know that the longer term trend of lead time is going up, so we do need to look at improvements. So otherwise that trend is going to continue. So those intangibles need to be pretty high for me.
Yeah.
I would also say alignment with organizational strategy must be near the top, because if we are not pulling in the same direction as where the organization is trying to head, then we're most probably delivering stuff which is not actually as valuable as it could be.
So that's probably a number 3 rather than number 1. I'm just guessing here because we're probably going to get shot down for doing continuous improvement, even though we should be doing continuous improvement. Value, considering dependencies, but you haven't considered effort yet. So I would have thought effort would have been.
Yeah, effort.
Yeah, it might even be. We could make this simple, actually.
I think effort should be last, personally.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's storming, there's all sorts of strategies that you can use that will trump effort.
Yeah. Okay, what else?
Well, we did keep on looking at the cost of delay as well, isn't it? We did take that into consideration quite significantly.
Yeah. So what number would you give that? It doesn't have to be perfect, just to kind of have a rough cut, right?
I'd like to put continue started work next, if not earlier. Otherwise, if we put too many policies before that one, then we're going to end up just starting loads of things because of these other policies, right?
I think we can take this as a given. I'm going to move that out, actually.
Okay.
That's a given, right? So.
I agree.
Yeah, because it's replenishment start policy, David. So.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. That's not good. Okay, so consider dependency chains, review business value. You also had organizational strategy. I just put 2 2s. I'll cheat here because we're kind of time boxed here. We don't have a number 3 though. Cost of delay, would that be number 3 or is it lower?
Yeah.
Lower?
Improvement work 3 and cost of delay 4.
Okay. And fixed dates. I think we should say considering fixed dates, just to kind of cheat a little bit. So if you said review business value, considering fixed dates coming up.
Yes.
And these, by the way, these are real fixed dates. These aren't Granny's birthdays. You know, my daughter's birthday.
So it's like,
yeah.
I guess Christmas.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so, and by the way, effort in this case is not story points. It's the number of stories that are in the
feature.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll start with that for now. And every 6 days we'll review our policies. Is that okay? You can review your policies at any time. The problem is that if you dick around with your policies every day, and you change something, sometimes when you change a policy, it could take a few days before it takes an effect, and so you keep moving things around. You don't know which thing actually made a change to your system. So usually I say every 6 days, but if you want to do something different, that's okay with me. No problems. So the next policy I would like us to talk about would be what I call the polar move policy. So if you've got a few items in progress, how do we decide which one we move next? Because if we're going to be sharing these coin tosses, how do we decide which one goes next? So I'll if you shout out, and I'll
aging would be good.
Aging. Okay, Massimo.
Yes.
Massimo.
Aging. Yeah.
Okay, you can type that out, Massimo, if you like. I can see you're in there. Okay, you're gone now. Okay. Aging. So for the people watching, what we mean by that is if you had, like, I showed this yesterday on the live stream when I was talking about Kanban the flow strategy. If in a workflow you had 2 active in progress states, and let's say the first in progress column was development and the other one was test, and just kind of making this up, but you had 2 cards in development that were there since the 1st of March, but you'd 3 items in test and they all started on the 1st of April, then that's obvious that we've leapfrogged the items that started on the 1st of March and brought them in. They came straight, they went through development, they got into test much quicker, and therefore the items in development are aging. And so that's not very good. Daniel Vicanti did a very good video called Little's Flaw, where he illustrates when you do that, when you don't watch aging, you're basically you're undermining the assumptions that go behind Little's Law when we use it in terms of delivery. So what else would we consider, guys? Is that it? Is it the replenishment rules after that? Or is it different?
Well, Kanban University goes with the beauty contest paradigm.
Want to explain that to people who are watching, Daniel?
Well, basically the decision is made on the spot according to what makes sense at the time that you're looking at the board.
You might have some low or high watermarks that you use to, I guess, trigger something.
During this game, because it's time box and because we don't have all day, what I do is I ask people to decide the rules at the retro, because I don't want them arguing for every single coin toss which story is moving. In real life, of course, yeah, you could do as what Daniel said, a beauty contest for everyone. What's the right thing to do with the latest information? You could do that. Given that this is only a game, what I like to do is, if you can agree what your rules are, so that you're arguing less about which card moves next, if that makes sense. And if it becomes obvious during the next few days that the policies aren't right. At the retrospective, you can change your policies. And of course, there's nothing wrong with you breaching your policies as you go through that you might decide to do that in the knowledge you're going to change it later. But I'd like you to come up with some rules so you're not kind of arguing over every coin toss, if that makes sense.
So my question is, what columns do we have? Because we've got an in progress and what is it?
It's build and test, I think.
Okay, so would it make more sense to always work, like I said, we always work from right to left, isn't it, to finish? Finish first. So would it make sense to have a move that we would always look from right to left and actually get the ones that are more on the right over the line? Yeah, does that make sense to everyone?
Cool. That's nice and simple. Thank you, Claudia, for that intervention. And they don't have to be perfect. We can change our policies every meet every few days. We talk about what we want to do about that. Is that okay? Yes. Okay, thank you for that. And I hope you're happy to continue cooperating as well, just for the sake of the time box that we have. Any other policies that you would like to have? Another one might be, it depends on which school you come from, but maybe we do some reflection. Maybe do that every 6 days, something like that. That's what I usually do. Some people call that a retrospective. Call it whatever you want, but we kind of pause to look at the charts every few days.
But another one, but hopefully the WIP limits already kind of do that.
Yeah,
but we always focus on the blockers. So blockers first, but I think kind of the WIP limits.
Oh yes, thank you. That's a good one. I like that. So is that what you're saying is we should unblock first? Okay.
Yeah, always
unblock before move.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, just in this game, just to be aware, there's a downside to that type of strategy, because let's say you let's say you have a blocked item, you get head, so you unblock it, but you don't have another head to move it as well. If you then get a tail, it gets reblocked. It's like, oh. So just watch out for that one. In real life, it's different, but just in this game, because of the coin toss, you could get burned with that one.
No,
that's okay.
But that's fair enough. I just meant indeed to say that we should prioritize unblocking items. So that's fair enough.
Yeah, I prefer that. Prioritize unblocking items. Okay. Thank you so much. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to a website. I believe there's a website called randomize.org. It's not a random generator that I want. It's random.org, I think it's called. And I think you can do these kind of coin toss things. I should just do that wasn't very good. I'll just I don't
just
see
go to cointoss.com.
Is there one? Oh, thank you.
I don't know. I'm just saying, it would have been a no-brainer for me.
I kind of know that Random has this, and I normally use it. So I'll just go coin flip, coin flip, and they'll probably find it easier than if I do a search on their website. Coin flipper, and we have 9 flips because you're continuing with a team that had 9 developers. Okay. Which coin do you want to use?
Wow, what a sight.
Let's see if sterling is there. Yeah, British pound sterling. And kind of like this. Does that work for you guys? No, I think what I would prefer is I need to figure out how to, maybe I do the coin flip in each, I don't know, maybe I try to figure out to have the spreadsheet, the coin flip in the same window. I'll figure that out in a second. Or I can just do the flipping for you and I tell you how many heads there were and how many tails there were. Because we need to see the screen, if that makes sense, yeah? So I'm gonna drag that across to my other display so I can see them. And we're now going to go back into the simulation. So I need to show you something, because there are restrictions around this, because this is only a Google Doc. So on the stories board, you can't just drag a card across. It's not designed that way. It was designed as a system where you would do data entry. In stories your data, you would write in what move happened that day. Okay. So for example, The only thing that I did today to make a change is if something is blocked, because blocks weren't recorded before, I added a blocked column, and if there's any text in there at all, it could be X, it could be anything. It thinks it's blocked because it's not blank. But I'll just use B to keep it consistent. Blocked or not blocked. So if it's not blocked, it goes back to normal again. And the same thing happens as well on the board. So on the stories board, it's using the same logic. So at the moment we have 5 items in progress, and 4 of them are blocked. Pretty difficult start. Okay. Now it wasn't actually as bad as that in the real simulation, so I think I'll do 1 less. So I'll just on this sheet I can literally just scroll, and maybe this one is in development, so I'll just clear that one. So we got just 1 less blockage. So now on the stories board, it didn't update. Okay, maybe I need to figure that out later. It should have just changed that. So 701, 703, and I changed it, and for some reason I just did the change earlier, so maybe there's a bug in what I did. So sorry about that. I thought that was working. The idea is that if it's red, it's blocked. I'll try to look at that while you're playing. So essentially what you need to do is in storage your data, that's actually where you're going to do the move. So what this means here is that 701 was selected on day number 11. It went into build on the same day. Then it went into test on day 12 and is currently blocked. So if you got heads, you need 1 head to actually remove that block, and you need another head to move it across on day 13. It's actually day 14. And then that's how you do that. So I'm just going to undo. Any questions about that? So essentially, when we update this, it updates the board. So that's what that kind of sucks a little bit. It would be nice maybe if I could do a next stage of development would be you could actually drive the card, it would just update everything, but that's not the way it is right now because it wasn't designed for that. So when we actually make our moves, it might be easier for you to actually stay on the stories, your data page, because that's actually where you're going to do the updates when you decide which ones you want to move. Maybe you have 2 screens open at the same time so you can see what's going on. Make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay, so I think we should start, and I think you remember the rules. So stay 14, and I'm going to do a coin flip. Okay. So let's get going. So do a coin flip, and I'm going to say flip again. And the queen's head. Does the queen's head mean it's a head? I think so, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So you got 4 heads and 5 tails. So you can make the change on this spreadsheet yourself. I don't need to make the changes. It's going to make it very slow if I do the changes. So you need to have this page open on your Google Sheets, and you can flick between the storyboard, of course, and the stories or data. So you need to have a discussion now about which item you're going to move. You got 4 heads. So which ones? Maybe you should look at the storyboard. Which ones do you want to move? Okay. So we'll just try and figure out what's going on here with this. Okay. Will I stop sharing my screen now? And maybe it's better if one of you starts sharing at this stage, because I need to check the media channels as well. Any volunteers?
Yes, John. Sorry, I was on mute. I said I will do it.
Okay, thank you.
I was on mute.
So I'll stop my share here. And oh yeah, you took over. Thank you.
I already took over, John.
Thank you. That's the spirit. And I'm going to try and find out what's going on with my logic here. Why didn't?
Cool. Which board do you guys want me to go to stories, or do you want to see this one, the other one?
I think we need to look at that one.
This one?
Yes.
Okay.
Because we need to have a look at.
I think you should all have this open on your machine. I think each of you need to have this open, so not just relying on Claudia, but flicking between them yourselves, because it just knows you got a bug on the storyboard that it hasn't cleared. Oh, actually did clear the blockage. 703 is blocked, but 701 is still marked. 701 is blocked. 702 though, it's still showing as blocked, and I need to figure out what's going on there. So don't make the updates yet. Just have a discussion about which ones you're going to move.
2, 3.
Okay, so if we were going to follow our policy, we would unblock the one in test first, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And then can we then use another head to then move that to done? Or
Yes, there's one rule I didn't tell you about. You can move an item one column to the right, but you can't move it 2 in progress columns on the same day, because that wouldn't be very realistic. So for example, if it was let's say you had 3 heads and it was blocked in development, you couldn't unblock it in development, then move it to test, and then move it to done.
Right.
Yeah. You can unblock and move with 2 heads. Yeah.
okay.
So are you updating that now?
So yeah, I think that's a
Cool. And who's going to update that? David, can you update that one?
Yeah, I'll try.
Cool. I'm rubbish with Excel.
Me too. So
701.
Okay.
So that uses up 1 head. So we've got 3 heads left.
Well, it uses up 2, doesn't it? Because we're using 1 to unblock it, then 1 to move it. Yeah.
Yes. So you got 2 heads left.
Okay. Yes.
For some reason, 701 hasn't moved. I don't know why.
Mm-hmm. Now, yes. Now. Remove now.
I hope I haven't broken the spreadsheet. Oh, it's cleared now. Okay.
No, it's now.
Okay.
Takes time to refresh.
Okay. Okay, good. So still showing 702 as blocked, though. I need to figure out what's going on there.
Okay, so we use 2 heads. So we use 2 heads now, is it? Yep. So still 2 heads.
We've got 2 heads left.
2 heads left, yeah.
So shall we move 703 and then unblock one of the others?
So let's just see which ones were blocked. 201 is blocked. 203 is blocked.
Neither 702 nor 703 are blocked.
So 702 is also free to move.
Yeah.
Okay.
We use 2 heads to move 702 and 703 to test.
So I suppose we need to go back to have a look at our policies to see which of those 2.
Well, they're both part of the same feature, so I think it's much of a muchness.
Yeah, they're going to be the same age, aren't they?
Yeah, because the first digit in there is the feature number, and then so 702 is like story number 2 of feature 7.
Yeah.
703 is story number 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 702 then.
Yeah, you can move both of them because neither of them are blocked, so you can boot mode 702 and 703.
So we've got two moves left, so we can move them both to test.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, you just type in 14 exactly on test.
Yeah. Shall I do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. I've done 702.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we've got 5 heads, haven't we?
Yes.
Yeah.
So basically, everything gets blocked, right?
Yeah.
But those are all done already, so I assume we're not.
Yeah. Well,
us.
we can't block those.
No, exactly.
Well, I know I meant there's 2 in test and the 2 in build. So 702, 703.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
201 and 203, right?
Yeah. You just put the B in the blocked column.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3. It looks like I'm not able to update those
other ones.
column.
Okay, I'll do it.
It says, yeah, protected cell.
Okay, I'll just do it for now. So which one? 702, 703?
Yes.
Okay. And which other ones? 201, 203. Okay. 201 and 203 are already blocked anyway.
Yes.
You can't reblock them. And when you get a tail, you start a new item. So you had 5 tails. So that means you start 5 new items, but actually there's nothing in selected. So this team seemed to have let the system starve. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know. But basically, you're not. You can use tails to your advantage, where you can use them to bring work into the system, but also you can overload the system as well when you bring work in. But in any case, even if there was work there, because of the work in progress limit of 6, you would have only been able to bring in 2 extra items anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've now finished day number 14. So now we're going to go on to day number 15. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me just get my towing costs here. So just do another flip. And this time you had 5 heads and 4 tails.
Ooh.
By the way, you can replenish whenever you want. So the if you're deliberately leaving selected empty, that's okay. But you could decide to bring in another feature. The only rule is when you bring in a feature, you bring the entire feature in. So that would mean that another feature would have selected day number 15 written on it. So which feature, do you want to bring in a feature right now, or are you happy to leave it empty?
So I would normally, because there's capacity.
Yes, there is.
Yes, there is capacity.
It's a sign for capacity, isn't it? So I would normally, yes, put one in, but that's...
So which feature are you bringing in? Because you were talking about that a while ago. I thought you decided which features you were going to bring in.
So we talked about F6 or F12, I think.
I think you said you were going to take a chance in F6, and that's only one story anyway.
Yeah.
Actually, F6, it says, is already done.
Oh.
Yeah. It went into done on day 13.
Okay.
According to this. So what was the other one?
F12.
F12, the intangible we talked about as well.
Okay. Okay. So there's 2 stories on that.
2 stories. Yeah.
So I'll do that. So day 15 and day 15. Are you happy just with 2 stories, or are you going to bring in another feature as well?
I think, am I muted? No, I'm not. So I think our capacity, if I see the stories board and we've got 6, then this would be, it's 6 and build and test.
It's 6 and build and test,
yeah. Okay, yeah, I get you. Yeah. Okay.
So are you happy with that, or do you want more?
Well, we might as well line up the next one, because our whip limit is only applying to build and test.
So which one would that be?
Let's have a look. Features, is it here?
John, did you say that the day selected will be the day that we pull it into selected? So the lead time is measured, or the cycle time is measured?
There's 2 types of cycle time, so don't worry about it. You'll see both of them.
Okay.
You'll see it from selected, and you'll see it in build and test as well.
Okay.
The clock does start, though, when it goes into selected as such, because you're committing to the customer, you're going to finish it.
Okay, so that's our commitment point then there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There's 2 commitment points if you like. Yeah, it's yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So have you decided?
I'm happy not to pull any. I'm happy just to have that one and not pull any more. But that's me.
I suppose, are there any, I didn't quite get the beginning of the session. Are there any dates for stories that are required by a particular date?
So yeah, we had
Fixed dates.
Yeah, there were a couple of fixed days. We had an F6, which is now already done, and then we had one that has a fixed date on day 30, which is probably this one. Yeah, so that is F11. That's a fixed date one as well.
Yeah.
Which has 2 stories. So it's
stories.
quite like small compared to some others. And is it 500,000 or 500,000, and it's on day 30. It does not have any dependencies either. So I'm just going through the list of our replenishment replenishment policies we agreed with.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think we saw that our cycle time was around 15 days. So maybe we should.
Yeah.
So we are just about. Yeah, that's most probably one that we should put into our queue next.
I think I agree with you, Rudiger.
Okay, so which one you want me to move
It's
in?
feature 11.
11. Okay, no problem. So I'll do that.
Well, one day our dependencies are going to bite us, right?
Which one, Daniel? Which one?
I'm just speaking out loud, you know. I'm fine with feature 11. Yeah.
You sure? But because if you see something we don't see, I want to know.
No. It's all right. I'm just saying, if we don't take care of the dependencies one day, we'll get stuck with them. And it was ranked among the top.
Yes. Yeah.
So if we are to do something, let's get some dependencies out of the way.
Dependency F1.
Yeah, I forgot about that one.
So do you want me to do anything different?
Daniel, you're on mute. I saw your mouth move, but
I was talking to myself, you know.
Oh, okay. Right, so let's have a look. Dependency. Is there anything that we have currently on the board that has a dependency on anything this? Let's have a look at the board. Is it this one? Right. So it's feature 7 and feature 2 we have currently in progress. So let's have a look if they have dependency. Feature board 7. Oh,
10. There's a dependency on feature 10.
So we've got feature 2 and feature 7 at the moment in. So feature 7 does look like it doesn't have a dependency on anything. Is that right? And then feature 2 does not have a dependency on anything either. And then,
that's good.
And what are the other 2 things that we put in? Do they have dependencies?
So we've got 201 and 203 that are in build.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I've got that right, like I said, if I'm seeing it wrong, just give a shout. Because stories board. So we pulled in 11, didn't we? 11 and 12 at the moment.
Yeah.
So let's have a look if that has any dependencies. So 11 didn't have a dependencies. We knew that. 12 doesn't.
Neither.
Okay. So.
But be aware of F10. Then there is F10 is dependent, is F15. So there is a chain. And F15, there is a dependency with F16.
Yes.
So I would like to put on selected on F10 now.
F10,
F10. Okay, I'll bring it in.
If you agree, I mean, this is my opinion.
That's good.
I'm fine.
Because there is a long chain of.
Okay, it's in now.
Yeah.
And just two stories because it should be small.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
But just a quick one, just to have a look, because
F10 is dependent on F7.
is F10. Yeah, no, the only reason is that the only one that has dependency on F10 is F15, and F15, I'm just now looking at the business value and stuff, so I'm just taking it a bit further, has a very low business value. So I'm just challenging it, but like, I'm happy either way, but I just want people to be aware of it.
Yeah. In the when I do this face to face, Claudia, what I do with the F15 is I use a Brexit scenario and I say, okay, it's actually now worth 20 million, not 50,000. A bit of black swan farming, you know, we don't know how valuable it is, and we actually went live and got some feedback.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, but okay. But I understand what you're saying. Yeah, it's cool.
Okay. No, that's fine. If everyone is happy with the putting the F10 in, I'm happy either.
Let's see what happens. Let's roll the dice, right? So let's not over-engineer every decision, because I'm a bit nervous that we want to spend too long kind of talking every day about which ones we bring in. It's okay. It's cool. It's good enough for now. So we're ready now to roll the dice for day number 15, are we? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Did I already roll the dice?
Yeah, you're ready.
Yeah, 5 heads, 4 tails.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Off you go.
Oh yes. So features.
So we need to unblock our 2 tests.
Yeah.
And then we want to move them as well.
Yeah. Because that
4 heads. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that leaves us 1 head. So,
Okay.
I'll unblock it for you.
Yeah, we
seem to be struggling there. So
that column is blocked for us.
It's okay. I'll do it. So unblock, and I'll move it in day 15, right? So I'll just keep the speed up, but I'll just do it for you there. So day 15, let's move to John. Okay, and what do you want to do with the last head?
I think we probably have to unblock still, isn't it?
We could do, yeah. Which
so we've got 201 and 203 that are blocked.
Okay, so it doesn't matter which one I unblock, right?
Yep.
So I'll unblock one of them. That's done now. It'll take a while to paint through there, maybe, but it's
okay.
Blocked here. So we're done with day number 15, right?
We need to do our tails.
Oh, sorry, your tails. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
So we have 4 tails. No. So in real life, we probably didn't have a choice which one would be blocked, would it?
Yeah.
So does that mean we need to bring in 4 from selected for those 4 tails?
Yes.
Yeah.
And you might as well bring in 2 features, because you've got there's 3 features with 2 cards each, so I might as well, you know, there's no point to bring in half a feature in, you know, if you don't get the value until you deliver the whole feature.
Yeah. So bring in the stories for feature 10 and feature 12, yeah?
Feature 10, I'll do it here for you, just to speed it up. So feature 10 is moved in day 15. And which other one? 11 or 12?
Right. Wait, the 11 was the fixed one. The 12 is the intangible, I think, at the top of my head.
Okay.
Let me check.
Yeah, it is. 12 is intangible. I remember.
Okay. 11 is a performance enhancement.
And we know that we get another coin toss with 12, so we should redo 12, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
So I'll just move that in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Happy with that.
15. Okay, that's done. So, and do we need to block any item as well? Because you had no, let's just move on. I'm getting tired. Let's move to day number 16. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's roll.
Okay, so I rolled it, but I'm not okay. Okay, so this isn't pretty. 3 heads and 6 tails. 3 heads and 6 tails.
Okay.
3 heads, 6 tails. All right. So would we I'm just thinking almost of unblocking one and moving 1201, but so I'm blocking, moving one of the unblocked and moving one 1201, but I don't know what you guys think.
Yeah, I agree with that. At least we get to move to 2 things.
Okay, so there's a mistake anyway in the thing. So some of those aren't blocked actually. So because it's on the storage or data, it's okay, but on the storyboard there's something wrong, and I need to fix it. But I haven't.
Okay.
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 Because I only realized it while when we started playing. So which one did you want to? Was 12? Was it feature 12? You think you said? You said move it into test. Is that right?
Well, we thought that all the other ones were.
Okay, forget about what you thought.
Blocked as well. So which ones are not blocked, John? Because
the only one that is blocked is 203.
Yeah.
That's 203 is the only one that's blocked.
Oh, those 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, just the one.
Yeah. So just tell me what you want me to do, and I'll do it.
So if we wanted to, we could unblock 203 and then choose whichever one we want out of those that remain.
Okay.
Would we then just move 201 if that's not unblocked, because then you've got a whole feature? Would that make sense?
Yeah. So you're going to move 201 and 203 into test?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because then we've got a complete feature, isn't it?
Yes, all there.
And it's the oldest thing, isn't it? So
yeah. Yeah.
Today's day 16, isn't that right? I think it's day 16 now. Okay. What else? So it's day 15. Sorry, day 15.
Cool.
Right, so that's all the heads. Now 6 tails.
Well, that's everything, isn't it?
So we've got our whip limit on build and test.
So they just block everything?
Yeah. So everything build and test gets blocked, right?
Yes.
So that's 10, 11, 12. Sorry, no, 10, 12. 10, 12.
10, 12, and 2.
Okay. It's only 201 and 203. Okay. Done. Ready for day 16?
Yeah, I'm just gonna say it out there. Not that I think we should or shouldn't. I don't have an opinion. If we have to have a look at replenishment or selected, or are we happy just to keep on playing like this?
Yeah, that's the right call. Every day we should be thinking about anymore. Absolutely. Yeah. So we're on day 16 now. Take a note here.
I think we should give it one more day.
Yeah, but
okay, let's yeah. Okay, I mean, because we do have something in the barrel.
Yeah.
There is a dependency on Excel. Oh well, on the sheet that I think that you should change the day in run to date, because it's always a 15, but now it's a 16 on the tab summary and settings. John?
I hear you, but I don't know what you mean.
I mean, if you go on summary and settings tab,
yeah,
there is the current date that is 15, still 15, and not 16.
That's right, because I haven't.
I guess
there's a reason for that.
There is a reason.
Yes, the reason is because we haven't put any 16 on any card yet, so the spreadsheet doesn't know it's day 16 yet. We've just started day 16.
Okay.
And as soon as the spreadsheet sees that I enter 16 on any of the cards, it knows it's on day 16 then.
Okay.
Let's leave let's leave the what could be improved about the game to a subsequent call, and let's just play the game for now, if that's okay. Thank you for the comment, though, but that's the reason for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. What did we say? Did we say we didn't want to replenish and leave it for one day? You all said.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yep.
Yeah.
Why not?
Okay. A left flip.
Go.
Yeah.
Okay. You have 6 heads and 3 tails. 6 heads, 3 tails.
That's better results.
Okay. Shall we use 4 tails on unblocking 201 and 203 and then moving them to done?
Yes.
Okay, I'll do that for you right now. 201, 203. So on day 16, they went to done, and obviously they were unblocked before we did that. Okay. And what else?
Just to check on those on the days. Were we not day 16 last time? I made a little note here. Aren't we now on day 17? But we didn't actually complete anything on day 16.
No, it was 15.
Was it 15? Okay.
Yeah, I corrected it. Yeah. So what's next?
So everything in build is blocked, right? So we will need to unblock.
Yes.
So are you going to unblock all of them, or just unblock 2 of them and move?
Yep. All blocked.
Oh, sorry.
Well, we have 3 tails to use as well.
Yeah. So how many heads have you got left?
Only 2, I think.
Okay.
Unblock and move 1001.
Okay.
It's Michael.
To test, yeah?
Yeah.
So now 16 is on the chart. So now the spreadsheet will pick up this day. We're at day 16, Massimo. Okay. So we've used 2 heads now. And now you're using the tails. There's 3 tails, yeah?
Yes.
Yes. 3.
So tell me how you want to use them.
So everything in build is blocked already, right?
Yes.
So 1001 we'd have to block, and then we need to bring in 1101 and 1102, right?
Yes.
Okay. 1101, 1102. Okay. Day 16. Is that it?
Yeah.
If you had 3 tails, you can start 3 items. So you started 2. You can start another as well. Is there there's nothing else?
We've hit our whip limit.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Yeah.
We done day 16?
Yes.
Move on to day number 17. Every day you can decide whether you want to replenish. You probably do because you're starved now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell me which ones you want me to bring in.
So I think we should do like John suggested, just get some stuff in and play.
Yeah, just tell me which ones.
Yeah, well, any which one you like. Let's say.
I mean, I suppose one could actually look at the names of the actual features and have a conversation with the team that you're working with to kind of say MVP kind of thing. Well, which bits do you need?
Well, why don't we try? Why don't we go for the emergency stuff that has to be done right away?
Emergency security issue. Yes.
Yeah. That'll get us going.
Yeah.
So those are expedites. So we straight away have to run those through, taking the other, assumed we have an expedite policy, that we treat that and we race it through.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. We don't actually have an expedite policy yet, but that should be one that we should then discuss.
So let's assume, I'll write it down in a minute, but while we're playing the game, let's assume that you can breach your current WIP limits when you've got an expedite. And we record the exception.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's number 8.
So I'll bring that in then. So yes.
Yeah, let's do it.
So day number 17, brought that into selected. That's only one card.
Yeah, we should do at least 2. So I assume we want to be paid things.
Whatever happened to F10?
10 is blocked at the moment.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. We did, however, we actually put 10 in so that we could later onwards put F15 in, isn't it? Because F15, so if we
performance.
Yeah. So maybe, like I said, that's the only one of the reasons we put 10 in, because so then we could put F15 in. Do we still want to put F15 in? I don't know.
15 has 4 cards.
Oh, okay.
I'm just telling you, so I'm happy to.
Yeah. No, that's fine. I can't see it on my. I've got the video thing on the left.
So I quite like F9 because there's a dependency on it of F13, which is quite high value. So F13's got
is dependent on 9.
Yeah, and F13 is got a business value of 500,000, cost of delay of 5,000, which is higher than F15. So I think the dependency chain starting from F9 is worth more.
Well, David, if performance issues suddenly coming out of the woodworks, you don't know how much it's going to cost you. No, it's fine. I'm happy with anything. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Yeah, that's not an intangible though, is it? That's just that's just an improvement.
Okay, cool.
So it's not going to improve our system, is it?
Cool.
Until we get to F16.
Yeah, I'm happy either way.
So just to check if I'm correct, so when you get a performance enhancement that comes through, you get an extra roll of the die. Is that?
Yes. Yes.
If you get tails, you get another roll. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So should the F15 should that be an intangible class of service rather than a standard?
I thought it was. Oh, I thought it was an intangible. Oh, okay. Yeah, because John, because F16 is an intangible and F15 isn't. Yeah.
Can you change it?
Don't know. Let me look. I can't.
I'll try.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're right, because F16 is an intangible as well, which is the same, really.
Yeah, I think that's
but
good catch.
Thing to remember as well is as time passes, classes of cost of delay can change as well.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So there's nothing wrong with changing one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good catch. Thank you.
Okay. In that case, I'm happy to follow the chain from F10 then.
And just in the spirit of generosity, given that you're getting an extra flip for 12, I'll give you a flip for 15 as well. So in other words, if you get 2 tails, you get a flip, you get a tail, and then you get another bloody tail. If you get 15, you get another flip. So hopefully that'll be a head, right?
There you go. That's negotiation here.
Let's flip. Let's flip.
Cool. Let's
so
do it.
Bring in 15 then. Will I bring it in? Okay.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do it here. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with the colors while you're doing that. So I'm bringing in 15. So today's day number 17. I've got written down here. All right. So that should be there now. Yeah. And I'll figure out the colors in a minute. So so you've now replenished. So are you ready for me to do the coin flip?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Okay, go.
I feel like I should be getting religious. Okay. 5 heads and 4 tails. 5 heads and 4 tails. So just tell me what you want me to do and I'll do it.
So we want to, I guess, start always right to left. So unblock is 1001 blocked.
So 1001 looks tempting, isn't it? Because you could unblock and get it to done, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll do that for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what day are we now? We're
day 17 still.
Yeah, 17. Yeah. Okay.
And then if I look, because we've got another 10 in there, if we get the complete feature, so maybe 1002.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll move that into test.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so 2 heads left, is that right?
We had 5 heads in total. We've used up 4, I think.
Oh.
1 head left.
One, just one.
Cool. If we just look at 11, so 11 was the so what was the 11, and was that intangible or 12? I don't remember now anymore.
12 is intangible.
Sorry, John?
What 12 is the intangible one?
12 intangible, and 11. What's that? That was the fixed. That's the fixed date, isn't it?
Yeah.
Fixed date, and that needed to be ready on the day 20, and we're day 17.
Yes, I think we would have.
Okay.
Well, are we going to get it done?
You could just take the fine as well, right?
Yeah. So yeah, that's just a choice we need to make, I think.
It's a lot of money. It's $1 million, is it?
Yeah.
A lot. Yeah.
But will we finish it as the thing? Are we going to waste loads of effort getting it finished and actually not get the money anyway? That's the worry.
$1 million sounds like a lot of money.
Yeah, it does.
We should at least try.
I don't know if you ever work for banks, but they're quite used to taking fines.
I think they are. Yeah, it's terrible.
Because sometimes it's just not possible to do what the regulator needs, and anyway, that's another conversation. Okay, so tell me what you want me to do.
We've only got 1 head left, right?
But 1 head left and 2 and 4 tails.
Are you sure about that? Because we unblocked 1001 and we moved it in, so that's 2 heads.
Yeah.
Then 1002 wasn't. Or 1002 was blocked. Sorry,
No, 1002 was blocked.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I got it. Just 1 left. Yeah.
So, do you think we should have chosen 11 over 1002? What are your thoughts? I'm just thinking, what is 1002? Let's have a look. Because 1002 is still the reason we had that was to unblock to remove the dependency for a feature that we've not taken in yet, or that we've taken in here. So the really value I think we're going to get from 10 is probably when we're going to play that. I know we're going a bit against our rules from right to left, but I'm just
That's okay. This is what happens in real life, right?
Exactly. So
That's
I'm
what
just
Daniel was talking about, exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
So would we want to do that differently, and what do we want to do 11 before 10 and take the gamble, or?
I think you're right.
Yeah. I think you're
So
right.
I'll just do undo.
Yeah, undo 10, put it back into Bill. If people are okay with that, as I'm not.
Yeah, I'm just because I'm looking at the maximum business value for 10.
Yeah.
Is 1 million. And the cost of delay per day is 10,000. And 11, which is the new regulations, are fixed day one. But it says here fixed. Am I looking at the right one? New regs 1.
So I
Feature
thought
6.
I'll just check here. So
feature 11 is only required for day 30.
Yeah, day 30.
Not day 20.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was the other one. Ignore me.
That's okay.
So actually, but feature 6, I think that one is done. So feature 6 is the one that was for day 20.
Yeah, you're right. I mixed them up. Sorry about that.
So we most probably, I guess in that case, but this is exactly why we're having this conversation, is that the urgency for the fixed date one is most probably not
there yet.
Not there yet.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, just ignore me.
So I could, thankfully there's a redo. So I'll just do that. Control Y, isn't it? And so now you have one head left, I believe.
Yeah.
So are you going to move 1101 or 1102 into test with that one? Or something else? I don't hear anything, so.
Well, let's just pick the top one.
Top one? Yeah. Okay, so now you got your tails. Is it 4 tails left?
4 tails.
Yeah. So that means your blocking work again. It's really annoying. There's not much work in progress though, is it? Oh, there is. Yeah. So that means I'm blocking 10 and 11, right?
Yeah.
So I'll just do that. And there's nothing else to block as far as I can see. This is already blocked. And then you can start 4 new items. Well, you need to start 4 new items. That's the rule. So feature 8 was something you were concerned about because that was like burning a lot of money, wasn't it? So are you going to bring in feature number 8 next?
Yes, but we've got our 6 card whip limit around build test. So we can only bring in 1 card.
Yeah, but 801 will fit.
So John, is feature 8 only 1 story?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
8 is the expedite, so yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so 8 is the one we need to do.
So I'll do that now. It's done. It'll update shortly on your screen.
And the expedite does not count towards the whip limit, which is
okay, right.
That's true. So you can bring in another one.
So so you can bring in another one. Yeah. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but you can.
Yeah.
So then we should pull in 1501 based on our our policies.
Cool. I'll do that now. So we're what day are we now?
We're in day 17.
Yeah, we're moving on to day 18, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll be moving on to day 18 after.
Okay. Thank you. So I've done that now. So at the end of day 18, we're going to have a kind of a retrospective, if that's okay. Do you want to replenish any more work? It looks like the system is okay. It looks like there's plenty of work there, but you can bring something in if you want to.
I'm happy to leave it how it is.
Yeah, we've got 3 there, so should be all right.
Okay, thank you very much. So I will do the flip then, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm just writing down here day number 18 because I'm getting senile. I do need to remember. Okay, here we go. Oh no. 3 heads. 6 tails.
Oh no.
John, honestly.
Maybe I should flip. Maybe you should just flip again, should I?
No.
I know. I'm joking. Yeah. So 3 heads. So what do you want to do with the heads?
Well, I think we said 8. That's an expedite, isn't it? So
yeah. Okay.
I'm assuming if we decide to expedite it, we should expedite it.
Yes.
Yeah,
I agree.
So day 18 into test, and you could actually, because it's expedite, do it on the same day. For anything else you can't, but you can with an expedite. So do you want me to use the second head for getting 8 to done?
Yes.
Yes, you would.
That would be our rules.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, that's done. It'll take a while to come through there, and you've 1 head left.
Got 1 head left.
So where do you want to use that?
Well, I guess we should unblock 1002. Or is that blocked?
It is blocked. Yeah, 1002 is blocked. Yeah, almost everything that's in progress is blocked. 10, 11, and 12 are blocked.
Okay. 10, 11, and 12.
You could get number 10 finished because you've got 2 stories for number 10. One of the stories is done, but the other one isn't. So, with a view to finishing the feature, if you want to get the value, you could move. Sorry, it's blocked, so you're only getting 1 head.
Yeah. So, what we would be able to move it next time then.
Yeah. I'm just thinking here that maybe when we retrospect that maybe doing the heads first and then doing the tails isn't such a good strategy after all. Because now you're going to do your tails. Yeah. And we had 6 tails, right? So that means that 1502, 1503, and 1504 are going to come in, doesn't it? But that's okay because we want to get a feature finished anyway. Well, no, we can't because we're breaching our whip limits. But 8 is true. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So you're kind of lucky, actually, in a sense. Depends on how you look at it. I mean, there's not much point in having part of 1501 in, but at least it's something happening. But if you bring all the 15 in, you completely breach your whip. Feature 8 has already gone through. So the tails has a limited impact other than reblocking 1002. So I'm going to do that now. So we're at the end of day number 18, I believe.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do now is, Claudia, if you could just stop your share there, and I'll just do a share over here.
Yeah.
Thank you. And we'll just have a look at the chart and just see what's going on. So and I just need to stretch my browser a bit there so we can see a bit more. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, and we're going to look at the story graphs. Oh, what do you see, guys?
It's a bit unpredictability over there.
Yeah.
And scatter plot. Let me have a look. We did have some starvation as well, I think, going.
Yeah, we did, yeah.
Yeah, and having a look. Yeah, that was in our day 14 or something when I look at the cumulative flow diagram. So we had some starvation going.
Yeah.
And then our whip over there and built increased, I think, a bit at the end on day 16 or 17.
Yeah. Okay.
Our selected line is steeper than our done line, so suggests that we're bringing more stuff in than we are completing.
Yeah, we're blocking the toilet.
We are indeed.
The trend of cycle time, it's not as bad as it was when the guys weren't limiting their whip earlier, but it's almost like we're getting worse again.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of hoping, because the limited whip, I'm kind of hoping we'll see it max out at some point, but that I'm not sure if that's happened yet. And so then if you look at some extra charts, so extra story graphs, so our delivery rate isn't stellar either, right? So we've been a bit unlucky with the coin tosses and all that. However, there is some light there because initially the whip was really high, then it came down, and now it's really stabilized. We've been very disciplined, apart from the expedite. Actually, the expedite didn't show because that went through on one day, and it doesn't show on the spike in the graph. But our cycle times are coming down. So if our cycle times are coming down, that's why are we not seeing that on the scatter plot though? That's kind of weird. Am I reading? So the bottom left here. Oh, that's the average. Sorry, they're averages. Okay, so the averages are coming down. So if you kind of look back at this, there was a bit of noise on the left-hand side of the scatter plot there. It's getting worse here. Yeah, there's something weird going on there, but I'm not sure how long it's doing the averages over. I think this is doing the averages over 4 days or 5 days. In the settings file, you can change how long it does the averages for. The histogram is looking a bit healthier, but it's still not great because essentially we're really unpredictable still, because it could be any kind of, whether it's time and process or lead time, it could be any. It could be in any place really. So we're not really seeing. Not seeing a light at the end of the tunnel yet. And then if we look at, well, what do you see, guys? What else do you see here? Happy enough with what I'm saying? And if I go on then to the feature graphs, oh, there's something. We've had 2 features that were delivered quickly, but they might have been really small ones. And then if you look at the extra feature graphs, the delivery rate chart is a bit funny. I might need to do a bug fix on that one. And we seem to be doing roughly 4 features at a time. It was higher, but still 4 features at a time. So nothing really to show for what we've done just yet. So now would probably be a good time to review our policies. I just need to find where the policies are. I can't see them. Oh yeah, here we go. So, what do you think? Do you want to make any changes to any policies?
Probably for me would it be decreasing the whip limits to make less whip limit. So at the moment it's a 6, lower it.
But yeah, and we're getting killed with the tails, aren't we?
Yeah. So well, that would be my my thing, but
yeah,
I don't know.
What would you change it to?
Anyone? Any ideas?
Would you tweak it or would you make a big change?
Well, Reinhardson always considers, cutting by half as a drastic measure.
Mm-hmm. You want to go for 3?
Okay, let's try.
Let's try it.
Yeah.
One policy which we have spoken about, which is not listed explicitly, is our expedite policy.
Yes, thank you. Yeah. So exceed limits, move more than 1 in progress column is possible. Record exception. Okay with that? Except my typos. Okay, so are you only making 1 change? Just change whip limits?
Let me have a look. What else did we have?
Yeah, I'm not saying you need to make any more changes. Sometimes it's good to only do 1 change so you can see what happens.
Yeah.
But if you think the system is really badly performing and you think you need to do 1 shunt right now, people have done that. I think you've already made a fairly drastic change. Are you really troubled by any of your other policies? Are the other policies bothering you in any way?
I just noticed from when we are considering which card to move, we're not specifically calling out aging.
Yeah, we seem to have forgotten about aging.
Okay.
Now, whether that's a good idea or a bad idea, because we inherited a set of cards from someone else. But so do you want to continue to have aging in your pull move policy, or is it just that you're going to be more disciplined thinking about it? Are you just reminding yourselves, or are you thinking of changing the policy?
I think I'm just reminding myself. Or
yeah. Okay. Okay. Happy with that?
Yeah.
Let's go on to day number 19. Okay. So I might as well keep sharing my screen for now. What I'll do though is I'll reduce the size of my browser so we can see the coin flip as well. Okay. And just go back as well to the data. Sorry, I made a mistake. Storage your data. Okay, so we're starting day number 19. So just scratching 18, going to 19. And I'm going to flip. Ready? Five and four. 5 heads. 4 tails. Are you still happy with the strategy of doing heads first and then tails, or I forgot to mention that actually when we did the policies.
Yeah, I think we should flip that. Do the tails first.
John, I think you're sharing your screen shares only on the browser, not on the screen.
Okay.
So we don't see the coin flip.
Thank you. Let me try to do that again. Zoom did an update a couple of days ago, and I've noticed that instead of doing the entire desktop, it's picking particular windows. So let me try that again. Oh, I can only pick one or the other. That's interesting. Okay. That's very interesting. All right, you just have to trust me then. Sorry. Okay, so I can move my coin flipper to the other page then and give me more space. Okay, so day number 19, you have 5 heads and 4 tails. What would you like me to do with those? I can show you you can have the stories board on your own screen as well. Ignore the colors. So which of these features, 12 was something that you were kind of considering important earlier on. 10 was a dependency for 15. 11 was a fixed date for day number 30. And 15 was another performance enhancement. So actually 12 and 15 are fairly tempting, aren't they?
Yeah.
Although we need to think of the aging as well. We maybe need to get 1101 finished because 1101, 1102. But we still have 12 days though.
And also, what is our cycle time actually?
It's getting longer and longer. Well, it's not getting longer. I'm exaggerating, but
it was 15, and then it's heading
up a
little bit.
I think it'll get better, but yeah, at the moment it's kind of hitting up around 16, 17 days. So.
Okay. Now I'm just asking for the fixed one that we have in there.
One chart that we probably should have in here as well is a work item aging chart that's missing on this. Okay.
Well, remember our WIP is going to go down now a lot, so
yeah, that's true.
That's going to most probably have the biggest impact.
Yeah.
So I guess the first thing we should then do is move 1002.
Okay, I'll do that. So 1002, just day number 19. Blocked at the moment, so I'll unblock it.
One day.
And
did we say that we still would start with tails instead of heads?
I'll undo that.
Yes.
Just reminding.
Okay, just tell me what you want me to do and I'll do it here. I'll just be your scribe. So yeah, whatever you want to do, that's fine.
If you just go back to the board.
Yeah.
Four tails.
So John, because some of them look red. Which ones are actually red?
The only way I can tell you is here, and I haven't time to fix it because I'm helping you here. So it's features 10, 11, and 12 are all blocked.
Oh, they're all blocked. Okay, so it's correct what I see on my screen. Cool. And we still have 4 tails, so we need to block more, we said.
Yeah. So we're blocking 1501.
Yeah,
and
1501.
1502, 3 and 4. We can't bring them in though because of our WIP limit.
Yeah.
So
blocked in 1501.
Can we do we block something that's been selected then?
You can't block something that's been selected. So if you've nothing else to block, that's okay.
Then that's it.
Yeah. But then when you have a tail, you still start new items. So which ones are you bringing in? Oh, you got whip limit.
But our whip limit is...
Oh, yeah, you'll be saved. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Just a quick question, because I wrote down on the rules, I'm not sure if that's on head or tail. When is it when we have no other option, help pair with someone who'd throw tails?
That's correct. Yeah.
Does that come in this scenario, or am I just missing?
It does when you share coins, that matters less.
Okay.
Because we're all sharing. We're all helping each other anyway. Yeah.
Okay.
That mattered more in iteration 1 when everybody was playing in their own silo.
Okay. So no, I was just thinking we could swarm, but obviously no. Okay.
We're already swarming, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what else do you want me to do? Is it time for the heads now? 5 heads, right?
I think so.
Yes, robots. Yeah.
So those heads, should we finish the items and test and bring
Yes.
10-2.
Yeah, let's definitely get 1002 done, because then that's the feature completed.
Yes.
So unblock and move 1002.
Yeah. Okay, 1002. So that's been unblocked, right?
That's right. And then move.
And then move it. So day 19. What else?
Steal 3.
Which one? I didn't hear you properly, Daniel.
That's probably because I didn't talk.
Oh, sorry. Somebody said something 3.
No, me. I mean, you have still three heads. So
okay. Yeah.
And VIP limits is 3 now. So I think it's time to move forward something from test also.
Yeah, 1101.
Yes.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's the only way.
So I'm
no. Well, it's not the only way, but
it's a way.
It's a way. Yeah.
Okay, so you got 1 left.
Okay. So
What about 1102? Move that over into test, because to get that feature finished, because 1101 is true.
Yes. Okay.
I'm interfering with your decision making now. Sorry, I probably should give him a watch.
Let me check.
So, sorry, that's blocked. So you've only 1 head left, is that right?
Yeah.
So you'd be just unblocking that one.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay with that?
Okay.
Yeah.
Done. Okay, so we now have 4 items in build that are all blocked. And when you're done, there's nothing, it's not blocked anymore. I think that's what. Okay, there's 1, 2, 3. I don't see where the other one is blocked. That's okay. I'll check that out later on. Okay, so we move on to day number 20?
Yes.
Okay.
Good. So at the start of the day, do we want to replenish, or do we think we're okay?
Mm-hmm.
I think we're okay. Whip limit of 3. We've got 4 in the system and 3 lined up. So I think we're okay for...
We most probably okay, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, I'll flip the coins.
John?
Yeah.
I have a class, throughput accounting class to give at 1 o'clock, so I gotta go.
No problem. Thank you for joining, Daniel.
Okay, thank you all.
Okay.
Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh.
Okay, so you have 4 heads and 5 tails. 4 heads and 5 tails.
4 heads, 5 tails. 4 heads. So do we want? I think we unblocked at 1102, didn't we?
Yes.
So do we want to move that one to test?
Yes, I think.
do we not do the tails first?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, thank you. Tails first. How many tails did we have?
Well, be careful actually, because actually that might be a smart decision, because do we want to be really binary about which goes first?
Yeah.
Because actually it does make sense to get 11 finished, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm getting mixed up. Sorry, 11. Sorry, which one was it? 1102. You're saying? Is it?
Yeah, I think it was 1102.
Yes.
1102 is only in build. Is that right?
Yeah, 1102.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you want to move that into test?
Yes, please.
Okay. Day number 20. Okay. And okay, so please continue with your decision making.
3.
Right, they're all blocked, aren't they? And we have a whip limit of 3 where we want to go to. And at the moment there's 4. So we want to move 1102 straight away to done as well. Use our other head. Do we still have heads left for that?
There's a rule that you can't move through
yes,
columns on the same day.
Yeah. Sorry, you said.
Except for expedite.
Yeah. Sorry, I forgot. Cool. So how many heads do we have left?
3. I think
3.
3. I think, if I count.
Yeah. Yes, it's 3.
Yeah.
3.
So I think if we look at age, like Rudiger said, if we remind us of age, I think 12 is older into the commitment point was earlier before 15, so that's probably an aging one. Am I right?
12 started in day number 15.
And when did 15 start?
Oh, sorry, 15. Okay. 15 started day 17.
Yeah, so 12 is older than 15.
Yeah, okay. So you're going to unblock 1201 and move it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I'll do that.
Mm-hmm. The 1.
That leaves the 1. Do you want to unblock 1202?
I think so. Yeah.
Yes, I think I've got I think we've got a policy that says unblock before.
Yeah.
Before we move.
Yeah.
Okay, and then what else have you got left?
So I think it's just the tails now, isn't it? So
5 tails.
5 tails. Oh.
Okay, that's really annoying.
Blocking them all again.
How many are in progress?
4.
4, yeah.
Yeah.
So 15 as well. I need to catch 15 as well.
Yeah.
Oh, actually. Oh, sorry, that was 15? I'm getting confused here. Is there something wrong with the data? Am I making a mistake here? Oh yeah, sorry, I was looking at the wrong. I'm mixing up the days with the features. Okay, 11, 12, and then 15 down here, and it's already blocked anyway. Yeah, okay. And you can start any new items because of your whip limits. So you finished day number 20. So this policy change, I think, is making a big difference. So moving on to day 21, and as Claudia says, do you want to bring in any new items at this point? Day 15.
Let me have a look.
We most probably need to start lining up because.
Yeah, I agree, because also 12 is an intangible and we're going to get more flip coins for it, so we can probably hopefully get through things.
And 15. You get another flip.
Oh yeah, another flip. So so it probably would make sense, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I'd be inclined to leave it another day, because again we're still over our whip limit. We've still got 3 items lined up, so we're not going to clear that in one day, isn't it? So I'd give it one more day personally.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine.
Cool.
Seems sensible. So I'll flip.
Go, John. Go.
5 heads and 4 tails.
Okay.
So did you finish 11 and 12? Is that part? Oh no, I can't with 5. Maybe
11 finished.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, 11:02.
Unblock.
Unblock and state 21, right? And what else do you want?
So we've got 2 heads left.
Do you want to get 12:01 across as well?
Yeah, I think so.
12:01 unblock and move in here 21.
Yeah.
And is that one left?
Yes.
And so I guess 12:02, right? And we're just unblocking that. 12:02.
We've got our tails to play, so that's just going to get blocked again now, isn't it?
Yes.
And John can do it again.
So 4 tails.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I mean, I shouldn't have interfered with you. So, so this one, will I reblock 12:02 then?
Yeah.
Block that one. Yeah.
Okay.
And then we need to bring in one, isn't it?
12:02. Where's 12:02 gone? It's still.
12:02 still in build.
Oh yeah, it's already blocked. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Are we done with day 21?
We need to bring in one for our tail, so 15:02.
Oh yeah. Okay, 15:02. Day 21, right?
Yeah. And then does that get blocked because we've still got one tail left?
No, you don't. You don't block one that you've just started.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. That would be pretty sad, wouldn't it? Yeah.
It does happen sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. It would make it a 5-hour game. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So we're done with day 21, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
So day 22.
Well, I think replenishment. What do you reckon? Should we replenish?
Yes, I think I always feel a bit more comfortable when there's a bit.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to get things through build and test, so I don't think we're going to free up any space. I would give it one more day, but again, that's just.
I'm not sure. I think we're going to starve it one more day. I don't know.
I don't think we're going to get anything. Well, nothing is going to get to done today, is it? Because even if we roll all heads, we can't go beyond test, is it? So we're not going to be able to pull anything from the selected column.
We won't get anything done, that's true, because we can't go to.
So we won't be able to pull anything from selected. So anything that we bring in is going to stay in selected, isn't it? So I'd give it one more day.
Okay.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, cool.
Okay. We got 6 heads and 3 tails.
That's a nice.
Nice symmetry to that one.
I think we're improving as a team. Obviously, we're becoming more productive. Or maybe John is just improving with his flip coins. Maybe that's just the case.
So, which ones do you want? What do you want to do? Tell me what you want to do, and I'll do the change.
All of those ones in build, they can get unblocked and moved, isn't it? 12:02, 15:01, and 15:02.
Yes, that's right. They can all move to test.
Unblock and move to test.
Okay. 12:01. Day 22. And is that one coin left? One head left?
We had 6. I think that will use them all up. Won't that will? No, wait, one was. But one head left.
Okay. What's next?
I guess we should use the one head on. So they've all moved one column. We can't move any further.
Yes, exactly.
So we
can use heads to start an item as well.
yeah, we would most probably want to start 1503.
Yeah.
But are we breaking our VIP limit then?
Yeah.
At 4, isn't it?
No,
No,
we had
3.
3. We
Oh,
said.
it went down to 3. Okay.
Yeah, we went down to 3.
Okay. Are we done then?
Yeah.
We've got our 3 tails.
So it could block 15, I guess.
Oh yeah, we can block when they're unselected, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh, not when there's just 2.
Just 2, yes.
Yeah. Okay. And we have one left actually. Okay.
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 Move on to day 23.
Yes.
Okay. Same discussion as usual.
Yeah. I was thinking that. I'm not going to ask this time.
Go on then. Now we can bring something in.
Okay, then. Let us put something in then. Replenishment. Which ones do we want to? Sorry, David, which did you say? Or
16 is the last in the chain of improvements, isn't it? So maybe John will give us another coin.
I will.
Is there any fixed thing yet anymore? Or I think we delivered all of those, didn't we? Yeah. Okay.
11.
Yeah.
There's a plenty of time.
Yeah. Is there anything that we think high value but lower effort? What is F9?
Not worth much. And it's got 6 stories.
Okay.
But 16 has 11 stories. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh yes, yeah, exactly. Sure. Yeah, that's 16 stories, and then if you look
Let's avoid that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I guess the next
13 looks tempting.
13.
Is 13 already in?
It's got a dependency on 9.
See on 9.
Oh, right.
And 9 depends on 2, I think. So 2 is done.
So we could start with 9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so day 23. Okay. And I'll flip. I've already flipped actually, and it's 5 heads and 4 tails. 5 heads, 4 tails. Thankfully, we haven't had 8 and 1. You know,
don't jinx it now.
Yeah. Why did I say that? Touch wood. We're going to retrospect at the end of day 24, and then you can decide what you want to do next.
Okay.
Right, 5 heads.
Let's finish 12.
Yeah. Finish 12.
Yeah.
Right, John, can you finish 12 for us, please?
Sorry.
I'll keep an eye on if you're moving your hands.
Concentrate, John. 23, right? Yeah. That's 2 heads gone.
Okay. So 3 more. Three more.
Just try to get 1501 through and then unblock 1502.
I'm tempted to move 1501 through and then bring in 1503.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because you might get blocked anyway. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll get blocked anyway.
Yeah.
Yep. Go for it.
Okay.
Yeah, I was thinking the same. So.
Okay. Anything else?
Okay.
Oh, we got 12 true. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes.
So for those 4 tails, you can get another coin toss.
Yay!
Will I do it now? What I have to do is I have to go back and change the number of coins. That's okay. So I'll change it to 4 coins. Because you just get the extra flip for the tails, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm flipping now. And you got 2 heads and 2 tails.
Okay.
So 2 heads, 2 tails.
Yeah. You can't block anymore. You can use a tail to bring an item in.
Yeah, I think because if we have capacity, we have capacity.
Yeah, we should bring one in.
We should bring one in.
Yes. 15-4.
1503.
1504? Okay. I'll do
1504, yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
that. Right, yeah. So that was a tail we used there, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So 1 tail left. We can't bring any more in. You don't block an item you just started. So the tails impact is over. So now you can use 2 heads. So do you want to get 1502 to done?
Yes.
Okay, so 1502.
Forward.
This blocked thing wasn't in the game that I had with Andy, but because we changed it for online, I was recording the blockages on paper, but for online, I just did this hack today. It's 23, isn't it?
23, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Looking much healthier now. It feels like there's flow. Okay, and if you get 15 true, then you get more coin tosses. So in other words, you can take your heads, and then for the tails, you get flips again. If that makes sense. So here, when you had 2 heads, 2 tails with the 12, you had 2 tails. So then you could do another flip for the 2 to see will they flip to heads. You know what I mean? Okay. So I think we're finished day number 23.
John, I have still 3 minutes because I planned another stuff at 7, so I got some. Okay,
thank you.
Let's flip the coins. I'm very interested about the next future.
Yeah, so basically the retrospective at the end of day 24 is the most interesting. So if you can stretch it to 10 minutes.
Yeah, but they are calling me on every possible WhatsApp. On the email and text
Where
message.
Are you? Yeah, okay. So you've got 6 heads and 3 tails.
Oh, at least. Okay. So it's a good sign.
Yeah, that's a good.
Okay. So yeah, I need to leave because they're calling me in every possible way. Thank you.
No worries, it'll be recorded anyway, and I'll send you the link, okay?
Okay, thank you very much.
Stay
safe,
Thank
stay
you.
at home,
Bye-bye.
stay safe.
Bye-bye.
And you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, then there were 3.
I know.
We'll wrap up at the end of day 24 probably and just have a little chat. And,
cool.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, so we're still we just rolled for day 24 actually, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, so 6 and 3. So maybe get 15 done. So you get
I'm just wondering, isn't the performance improvement ongoing, or was that just a once-off boost?
You get an extra coin flip for 12, and you get another coin flip for 15.
Right. Okay. So it's just okay. Fine.
Oh, I thought it was an improvement.
I thought it was ongoing, an ongoing improvement.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well. I think John is cheating on us. I'm always sure.
Well, when you showed me that it was intangible, okay, I didn't realize it was intangible. For intangible, the coin flip applies. When you told me about that, I fixed it. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Right. So we get 15 over the line. Are we saying?
I think so.
Yes.
So 15. Oh, it's not blocked actually.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's just
well,
an error. I need to fix that the way that works. So that so wait a second. Why? 1 second. What's going on here? It's showing like that it's in build, but on the data it's showing
that it's done.
Oh yeah, it is in build. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Okay. So but you can only move one in progress column in a day.
Yes, that's right. So it will basically move those to test then, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I guess you're talking about just bringing in work.
Yeah.
So you just tell me which ones you want me to bring in.
What did we say? I think they're all 9, aren't they?
They're all 9. So
yeah.
I guess
So
we
just
start
from
with 901.
Yeah.
901.
How many am I bringing in?
Just one.
Just one, because we've got a whip limit of 3 now.
Oh yeah. Okay. And do we have tails to do as well, or
we've got 3 tails?
But we have 12, so I can reflip for the tails. So I go back and I pick 3 and I flip, and you got 1 head and 2 tails.
Okay.
So you got 1 more head at least.
Cool.
So what do you want to do with that? Maybe move another 902 to 24.
Let me have a look. I can't see the. Yeah, so we've got a whip limit of 3, so we're not putting anything else in.
We're not going to start anything.
No.
We can't move them because we just moved them from build to test already.
Yeah. Can we move 901 from build to test, or?
We already moved it in, so you can't.
Oh yeah, you already did. Yeah.
Maybe we need to use a tail and then a head. So block something and then unblock it.
Yeah. Okay. So bring 902 in, and then, but you don't block something that you just started.
No, I mean, don't we block something that's in test if we use a tail?
Yeah. Which would be
and then because we've got a spare head, then we can use the head and unblock it again.
Yeah, so it says the same.
All right, we can't bring 902 in because that breaks the whip limit.
Oh yeah, you're right. So I need to reverse that.
Yeah.
Okay, so what else? Are you just starting another? Oh no, we can't. That's it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So retrospective time.
Cool. Let's have a look at the graphs.
Yeah, just curious. Still hasn't happened. I'm disappointed because what happens when I do this face to face? It took a lot longer to do this online because normally what happens, and you see some story cycle times that have dropped massively, and then it continues. I'll show you one I did before, but let's look at the other charts and then I'll show you.
Yeah.
I suspect there's a bug in that scatter plot because
it's going up continually.
Maybe it's like maybe it's accruing the timing, and it's
when it's been selected, because this is from selected. The extra story charts, delivery rate isn't stellar, still around 1.5. Our whip is coming way down, but the time and dev is kind of going more to the left. But now we can finally see there's something funny going on here with this with the time and dev and cycle. It was coming down and kind of went back up a little bit. So I think we didn't have enough days to see more. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you something I cooked earlier. So its feature times have come down though. And if you look at the extra feature graphs, customer lead time for a feature is around about 9 days. It still hasn't tightened up. So I'm going to show you something I've done before. Is that okay?
Yep.
So I'm going to look at another one. There's two of them. I think this is one of them. And I'm not sure if this is the right one though. Let me just see. I've got loads of about 100 of these. No, this isn't the one. So if I pick, actually, I've got another file. Oh, I've got another file which is on my drive, which is the featureban results, and I have the value written on them so you can see them. So I'm just going to pull that up now. So I'm not seeing it now. I'm not seeing it. Just bear with me. Oh, that's the old spreadsheet. These are just photographs. I have a folder where I've got loads of samples. If I just search featureban. It's not showing folders there. Might need to show you later on. I should have opened this beforehand. I'm sorry for delaying it on. So I don't see it there. So I'm going to go to shared with me and see if it's in. I've got learn Kanban faster. And then we have games materials master, but there's some other files we have here as well. And I even have the one actually that Massimo was in London. Let me just find one here. And so it probably runs much smoother face to face. So it's the first time I've ever tried it online. So thank you for doing that with me. And this is what I usually see. So you can see in this particular case, the work in progress is very high, and then they slimmed it down. And essentially the cycle times came way down, so they became much more predictable. Their extra story graphs as well had a delivery rate of 3. Their histogram was much tighter on the left-hand side. And in terms of the feature graphs, not only was the story cycle time coming down, but the feature cycle time was coming down as well. And you can see there that it was taking them about 6 days to deliver a feature. So I'm sorry that it didn't run as smoothly online as it does face to face, but I want to thank you both very much, and for the people who joined and the people who watched, for trying this out. I'd love to invite you to another call where we talk about how much this game sucks and what could be improved in the game and what would make it better, basically. Yeah. Any comments, Dave and Claudia?
Yeah, I actually quite enjoyed playing it, to be fairly honest, once we got into the swing of things.
Yeah. Okay.
I think I enjoyed it a bit more than featureban, just purely because you actually make your decisions and your policies yourself, and we actually had discussions about it as well.
Yeah.
I quite like that. But we're used to playing Kanban a lot as well.
Yeah.
And so I was also wondering, do you think you can plug this into actionable agile as well?
I'd have to talk to Daniel about that. That'd be cool if we could do that.
Yeah, because that would be really cool if you can just, especially because I think, do we as PSTs, I think we've got do we have a free license or something for it?
We do, yeah.
Yeah, we do, don't we? So yeah, that would be really cool, because David and I, we sometimes do on Meetup some Kanban games, and we prepare all the data with actionable agile via Excel. So
yeah. I was at a session with Mike a couple of months ago where he did change ban.
Yeah.
And the collaboration was sort of the big message that came out of that.
Yeah.
It would be useful to actually incorporate that in this as well.
So it is incorporated, Dave, but what happened is you took over at day number 13. So at the first retrospective, that would have come out. Sorry, the second one, where day number 6, they could see that they had a blocked toilet. And
Yes.
day number 12, oh, bloody hell. They actually knew, they did limit their work in progress at the end of the retrospective. And then in the second retrospective, day 12, they realized that they were collaborating more. They actually, even before they changed their policy to share coins, because they were supposed to just do it for their own initial cards, they were actually sharing the coins already, so they were collaborating. So by the end of the second sprint, that would have come true. And the reason that didn't come true today was because I was worried that we'd take too long, and we still took too long. So I gave you a starting position of day 13. So I think you're right, though. What I normally do when I play this, I start in day number 1. So they can't blame anybody else. They brought in their own backlog. They picked those features, so if they're giving out about canceling them or whatever, and they would see the collaboration. So you've got a point there. I just need to figure out a way to make this faster. So that it moves faster. Because the retrospectives are nice. I love the way we look at the charts every 6 days and we look at our policies. That's quite nice, but it just takes too long.
Yeah, but it's an interesting. When we do our KMP training, I think even the Kanban, we sometimes have to, don't we, David? Sometimes people keep, and we did that ourselves now here as well. We just kept on pondering on things, and sometimes we just have to.
Yeah.
Almost like, but you don't want to rush either, because you still want people to have those discussions and make the right decisions. But sometimes you just we did it ourselves as well. I think completely at the beginning when we started it with this game.
It might be worthwhile, having like the egg, the first couple. Obviously, you want the conversation, and then you get the egg time out.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe.
But it still took several hours here.
Yeah. And I'm wondering, should I use dice? Should I have a think about it, right? What would you do to try and make this kind of move a bit faster? Because there's nice learning outcomes in there, isn't there? Like about cost of delay and features and dependencies, and we see the charts and we do the retros. It just takes too bloody long.
What the new version of this featureban changeban that came out a few months ago, Mike is saying use cards. So there you basically get a sequence of red and black cards, and that determines whether you do heads or tails, and also in what sequence.
Okay, I'll have a look at that.
The whole, I think the one reason why I'm always reserved about using featureban is the heads or tails thing, that things get blocked, and that slows everything down. And we saw it there when it's almost like we end up gaming it by, well, let's do all the tails first, and then we'll do the heads, because then that sort of negates the effect of the tails, isn't it? With combining by dropping the whip limits.
Yeah, because we sort of.
Maybe there's a way that we can, like you say, use dice or heads and tails to say, right, either just change the featureban rules a little bit so we're not blocking so much stuff. So it's either something moves or actually no, you flipped a tail, so that developer doesn't move anything today.
Yeah, what I did for a while, for about 50 simulations, I allowed people to move a card through 2 in progress columns in a day. That did speed things up. Maybe I should go back to that again. Because you had a few good days, and you would have loved to got it through the whole way, but you couldn't, because I had that rule. If I took that rule away, you would have had some days where you got something from build into done.
Yeah. Could you take something from the get Kanban idea of like actually you're allocating people to a ticket, and if you flip a head, it moves. If you flip a tail, it doesn't move. Something like, because it's the blocking stuff that slows the flip, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So.
Well, what I like about, which comes a bit back to Rudiger as well, what you said, I think what do like about the Kanban game is that at one point they start collaborate. Yeah, they're kind of being forced to collaborate. Indeed, if you've got people on a ticket, and suddenly like you got 5 people on one ticket, you know, so it's kind of that's quite a nice idea. But
yeah. Okay. Thank you very much for your time, everyone, and I'll reach out to you. And of course, you might not want to meet me again, and that's okay.
Never.
We do have a bit of time on our hands, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Otherwise, we wouldn't even do this, probably.
Yeah, that's true.
We did yesterday. We had to do a. David and I were doing a session on the Kanban coaching exchange, and we ended with a big Kanban bingo, and people actually stayed. It's like we had this horrible bingo machine. It's like obviously people are bored.
Bloody hell.
I know.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining.
Thank you very much.
Very nice of you to come and help me. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Keep safe. Bye-bye. Lovely to meet you all. Bye-bye. And thank you for watching online as well. Thank you so much. Any comments, I'll revert to you. Thank you so much.